defense knows they have to push up front. And as long as Russ, Benkai, and Blaze King can defend B well enough, they're going to run out of time. The pressure is on. And off of the cascade, they push up. Euron and Hiruron, how do they make it happen? All three players down. Depth now coming through. All that's left is lightning fast. And a Russ that is running out of battery, running out of juice. Finds the angle, finds the shot, but oh god, Bladestorm now propped up. That's a tough target to hit. Okay. Just a bit of a whiff here and there, and then you're on to secure that final nail in the coffin. 13-7. ZETA Division clears this out 2-0.
One of the teams that just did not budge to make a roster move for so long, but they start the first chapter of a story about building up talent in your own region throughout your own academy roster. I mean, today was a story of Euron and Hiruron. They topped the board on this map as well, but both of them performing quite well throughout this entire series. We all knew, okay, firepower upgrade for sure, but are they ready for tier 1? And ZETA says, why do you think we put them on our academy roster to begin with?
Yeah, chat. Why do you think? And this map just says it all. You saw it a little bit on Bind, but this one even more so because Euron and Hiruron just absolutely held down their own on sites when they pushed. They did so much. Not to mention Def and Laz, though, who are still firing off.
Yeah, I mean, that's the thing, is that now they're a little bit eased up. They don't have to hard carry every single map, and that's what a lot of people that have been cheering for this Japanese squad have hoped for. A great first showing. Still a long way to go, but quite a convincing one for ZETA Division.
Man, pressure not that hard. And it feels good. Meanwhile, for Global Esports, I mean, I still got to say, right? Colby, lightning fast, new pickups, new players being put in, and they can perform as well.
Yeah, I mean, lightning fast, he wanted that spot onto the main roster. He got it. He had some good moments. You call out Bobby as well. I would say Russ actually in the first map. Quite a few good shots, but the last one. Now it's time for an interview with our winners.
First winner for day 2, VCT,
Hello.
goes to ZETA Division. Make some noise, people.
Hello.
Yes, congratulations, lad. It's good to see you back. 네, 오늘의 우승, 개인 첫 번째 우승은 ZETA 디비전이 가져가게 됐습니다. 라드 선수 만나보겠습니다.
हाँ बोल भाई बोल
क्या कर रहा है भाई?
वैलो खेल रहा।
क्या बात कर रहा है? वैलो भी खेल रहा है तू भाई? तू वैलो खेलने लग जाएगा कितने दिन में? क्या रैंक हो गई?
तूने उस दिन कल परसों
क्या बोल रहा?
परसों रात को कॉल किया था तूने।
अरे वो मैं तेरे को फोन क्यों किया था? हाँ उसमें ऐसा था कि मैं तेरे को फोन इसलिए किया था क्योंकि हाँ वो तुझे मालूम है क्या कुछ तो भी मेरे को एपिक गेम से कोड आया था कुछ तो भी तो मैं बोला लॉगिन कौन कर रहा था
तूने अपना ईमेल डाल दिया क्या?
हाँ उसमें मेरा ईमेल भी है ना वेरिफिकेशन बैकअप में तो इसलिए मेरे को भी आता कोड
मैंने फ्री गेम डाल दिया जो
अच्छा कितने थे
वो फायरलाइट करके एक फ्री गेम
है क्या उसमें कोई खेलने लायक गेम है
एक देखे तो डाला भाई
a lot of teamwork, show a lot more teamwork with the new members, and it was really good.
오케이
네, 개인적인 전략보다는 팀워크가 정말 돋보였던 게임이었던 것 같은데요. 팀 내에서 서로 많은 협력과 함께 대화도
भाई VCT चल रहा भाई VCT नहीं देख रहा तू मैं बहुत पार्टी कर रहा था
ATP क्या
So I'm seeing new players.
हाँ VCT चल रहा है
मैं बहुत पार्टी कर रहा हूँ उसके भी
How your teamwork is specific to
बात है भाई
details. How was your teamwork today's match?
新しいメンバーの2名が入って、特に今日、どういった面でその連携が取れたなっていう感じるところがあります。
細かいコミュニケーションもうまいし、その意図が通りやすい、意図をすぐに共有できるっていうのも強みですし、あと少人数戦の打ち合いの強さが光ったなと思ってます。
So the new members, we were able to communicate a lot more in detail, and it's easier with the new members. And, it works really well to sort of communicate what we're actually thinking, and they understand what we're trying to tell them a lot more. And especially the new kids are really strong when we're shooting each other in small numbers, so they're really good in close fights.
네, 개인적으로도 이 두 선수가 보이는 전략이 매우 강하고 전 팀보다 좀 더 소통이 아주 활발하고 더 이야기가 많이 되고 있어서 조금 더 쉽게 게임이 풀리지 않았나 싶다고 답을 했는데요. 그러면 또 이번에 또 새로운 전략을 봤어요. 좀 차분했던 ZETA 디비전이 이번에는 좀 기다릴 땐 기다리고 아주 매서울 땐 또 매서운 전략을 가져갔거든요. 어떠한 변화가 있었는지 알아보겠습니다.
जो भी बोल रहे हैं अच्छा बोल रही है हाँ बहुत बढ़िया
New strats, you being more aggressive, also controlling the pace of the whole team. So what changes are going on your team?
今までにない作戦だったり動きみたいなのがたくさん見れたかなと思うんですけど、チーム内でどんな感じでの、作戦だったり練習が行われてるんですか？
मुझे सामने खड़ा हो गया
知識を持ってきてくれたり、あと
क्या
は、
बंदे भाई
アイスボックスのリワーク入っ
ये
てた
तुझे
りして、
क्या बोलती हो एकदम क्या दिख रही
ど
एकदम
う
ओ
戦ってくるか
हो
わか
हो
んないって
हो
いうところで、どのチームがどう戦ってくるかわかんないっていうのも、
ये भाई ये तो देखना है और
まあ
क्या
自分
देखना
たちで
है
いろいろ試しながら、まあ、強い戦い方っていうのを見つけて、まあ、この本番でうまく出せたなっていう感じですかね。
बराबर है बराबर है
So because we have a new coach, Carlau, he takes a lot of he brought a lot of new insight to our team, and as well, especially for Icebox, we've got Yuran doing moves that we haven't had before. And because in the situation right now, we don't know
Yes,
what
yes,
other teams
perfect.
are doing at the moment because we've got no stats. But we were able to sort of figure out how to be strong on our own and figure out a way that we could become stronger without relying on the data that we don't have yet.
네, 아직 팀에 이제 막 시작 경기인 만큼 많은 정보가 없어서 조금 더 차분하면은 거기에서 나온 것 같고.
बे भाई इन लोगों ने ट्रांसलेटर रखा है कुछ तो मालूम बे भाई बड़ भाई
있기 때문에 전략도 새롭게
बे इन लोगों ने ट्रांसलेटर रखा है मालूम है क्या वो पुट्टा जो है ना वो लवड़े को इंग्लिश आती नहीं आती पता नहीं वो एक लड़की उसको इंग्लिश में प्रश्न पूछ रही उत्तर इंग्लिश में दे रहा फिर वो बाजू वाली लड़की उसको वो जापानीज में कन्वर्ट कर रही फिर वो पुट्टी जापानीज में बोल रही
सही है भाई
プレゼントなのでサインをお願いしますということで。
ये भाई बाबला भी बावला बावला बोड़ भाई तक विंचू
Maybe on the side or the middle.
क्या देख रहा लौड़े
वीसीटी पैसिफिक तू देख तो सही
तो VCT बताते हुए चुप किधर से आ गया
Perfect.
वीसीटी पैसिफिक चूती है
Oh, okay, on the back.
अच्छा अब जब मैं डिस्कॉर्ड यूज करता हूँ ना मेरे को 100 FPS आता है
And then two
और जब नहीं यूज करता ना तब 125 आता है
तो डिस्कॉर्ड में वो हार्डवेयर एक्सेलरेशन बंद कर देना
थोड़ा ऑप्टिमाइज करके देगा क्या बोर्ड पे
हाँ करवा देगा उसमें क्या
थोड़ा FPS बढ़ जाए ऐसा कुछ
हाँ हाँ करवा दूंगा
It's up to you.
बहुत कम FPS आता है यार स्किल पे क्या होता है
投げていって好きなとこ選んで
It's
投
your
げていって
present.
प्लांट
Who
प्लांट
gets the present for last? The winner's present goes to fans in the back. Oh yeah, you can throw it to the fans. Yes. Okay, Elias Last was kind enough to go to the back and give it to the
बे भाई वो
fans.
बढ़िया लग रहा है रायट के उस पे है बे शॉप पे कितने का है अपन ले लेंगे इसको
Thank you.
बढ़िया लग रहा है तो रायट शॉप का है शॉप
Yes, we are now going to look at the viewing party.
बे भाई तो बहुत महंगे महंगे है भाई $200 के दे रहे लोग तो इसकी भेड़ की आग चाहिए कुशन कवर में
Yes, for the
कुर्सी ले
viewing
दी
party,
आप
we
की
can see
ओ
fans all around the world. We are going to look at the fans in India, Mumbai for global
अरे
esports,
लॉन्ग पे
and the fans in South Korea. Oh yeah, hi guys.
चेंबर लॉन्ग
Oh nice. We can all hear you shouting.
Let's go,
way
G!
back in India. It's a nice fight y'all got having.
क्या बॉट फुटते भाई
Yes.
बेकार
thank you,
रेलवे स्टेशन में
fans.
बैठेगा जी वाला
And for the second match of the day, we are waiting for TS and Talent.
ओ लेट्स गो जी रियलिटी तो डिसबैन हो गई ना तो रियलिटी होती तो आहा क्या मजा आता भाई वो
Reality disband हो
Oh
गई?
boy, you
Disband
know,
हो गई
the
ना
global
reality?
esports fans,
कब?
I love
एक
them.
साल
They've
होते हुए
got
आगे
so
साले।
much energy and they just keep powering through no matter what
सही है
the
भाई।
result. And honestly, global esports has some really good foundations. They kind of just need to harness that energy and that power they have, especially with Polvi on their team, and move forward. They're still in the game. It's not over for them yet. They're just moving to the lower bracket. But ZETA clears in a 2-0.
ठीक है ये भी
in this,
चलेगा इतना सब तो
game
चल ही
against
रहा है अभी
global
क्या
esports.
करोगे उसके लिए कोई
Comms
दिक्कत
has
नहीं है
clearly been a huge change for ZETA division, and the young energy they have with the new players, that new dynamic they have there. We're seeing a fresher ZETA.
No, we absolutely are. And I mean, any concerns that we had, we were talking about at the start start of the day, you know,
What
how
do
are
I
they going to
do?
feel coming out here
Just
onto the stage? Now it's the big leagues. It's no longer show matches. It's not off-season events. Hieron, good God, what performances from them. Hieron, especially in that second match, just coming out swinging with that Sova. Star-studded performance from him the entire way. And you can see ZETA oftentimes were disadvantaged. I mean, these are DRX, you know, last year's DRX level statistics where they're giving up these first kills, but they're still managing to clutch out the rounds in these 4v5s, these 3v5s, whatever the statistic may be. They manage to come out on top, and a lot of that does boil down to clear communication.
Yeah, and it just, again, just to kind of add to that from Hieron's perspective as well, a lot of the highlights that he's gotten as well was off of just his teammates being very confident in him making that. They were baiting for him a lot. Like, Depp would just go in with his blades, try to get as much impact as he can, and if he cannot, Hieron is there to pick up the slack, and he does that multiple times throughout this Icebox map.
Absolutely, totally covered for Depp as well. I mean, they played off each other really, really well. Polvi, I mean, we got to mention that one round in the very beginning.
Oh, yeah, I mean, a risky play, Global deciding to go for that force buy once again after dropping yet another pistol, but that one, it absolutely paid off. Polvi looking phenomenal when it comes down to the sniping. That, you know, that outlaw in his hand, being able to pick up the 4K was really good, and it seemed like, okay, this is going to be Global rallying back. They have a solid read of how this Icebox is going to be played by ZETA, and they should be able to take the win here to try to tie things up. But that feeling, unfortunately, didn't last very long. ZETA, they came out swinging as soon as we swapped sides. It was just complete and utter dominance the entire way through, just basically riding that wave all the way into that 13 scoreline to be able to take it home. This was really good comfort to see from ZETA, because again, this is not a map that they have played it in a very long time, not since 2022, and that was in a loss versus Northeption. So they have not brought this to the forefront in a considerable amount of time, and clearly they've been workshopping it a hell of a lot. Sugar Zero as well, props to him. The scoreline might not really tell the whole picture, but I like some of the setups that he was going through. Clearly he's been putting some time into learning this harbor, which is something that I think he's only played twice in any sort of tracked capacity coming into this series. So this is his third showing on that agent ever, and overall I think that his util setups were very much on point.
Absolutely, especially with how they were playing just with that cove. Again, either to plant the spike or defuse the spike, whether it's attacking or defending. They really played around that so well that you saw how pressed Global Esports was just to kind of counteract that, and it still didn't pan out for them.
I'm really excited to see the matchup between Bleed and GE now, because I think both teams are ones that show that there is like a foundation here, but it needs to be built up more. So who can have a faster construction job here, I guess, is kind of the question. Is it going to be Bleed? Can they get things together? Can they find those pop-offs from Ye? Are they going to pivot their strategy? And Global, can they continue to build off what we just saw here? Because I think if they fine-tune a couple of the things that we're seeing, they absolutely can have success. One of the things that I'm going to be curious to track is, do they continue trying to run this solo Viper controller that we now have seen for 2 maps in a row? Is it going to be Russ continuing to run this KO where other teams still are kind of straying over towards Sky on those previously, you know, Sky-centric maps?
Yeah. And T1 versus ZETA, they're going to be facing off next. This will be really interesting as well. How are you feeling about that?
I mean, I think the only word I keep saying in any of these matches is just super excited, because again, ZETA, you already see how far the changes have been with the 2 additions again of Euron and Hieron, and it's already successful here. How is it going to deal with the T1 that we saw from yesterday, that even though it did go to the very limits up against Bleed Esports, it still was them having a really big showing in that first series.
Yeah, I mean, one of the big things that I would love to see, because I think both teams are very happy to play on the map, is Lotus. But after seeing T1 really picking apart Bleed yesterday, is that something that you still feel comfortable on? Does this identity of ZETA Division still feel comfortable on Lotus? If the answer is yes, then good God, give me the chamber matchup right now. Show me Laz versus Xcurate, but that's for a future matchup.
That is definitely, that's very exciting, and I would love to see a Lotus matchup. Give it to us, give it to us. That's it, guys. Those of you watching at home, those of you access to your chat, tell us what you think, your reactions to all the games that have been happening so far. We're going to go on a quick commercial break, and when we come back, we're finally going to see a bit of Group B.
बे साले 11-4 से कमबैक कर ली इन्होंने। बॉड बंदे भाई। रहना ब्लाइंड मत लो। रोटेट। मैं भी आऊंगा।
Red Bull gives you wings.
देखो फ्लैश होगा। Behind you, behind. Hey, Laura, bencho.
Red Bull gives you wings.
Oh my God, that was insane. Break the corner. We'll get yet another ace this weekend. Our inaugural VCT Pacific champions.
Hello, VCT fans. I'm extremely excited to introduce Valorant Champions Tour Pacific 2024. Last year's VCT Pacific run was amazing, with our players showing their unreal potential on the global stage. This year, there are big and exciting changes coming up. Here are the updates and everything you need to know about VCT Pacific 2024. VCT Pacific will now have 11 teams competing across the region, with Bleed Esports' recent promotion to the International League through Ascension 2023, and we cannot wait to see them on the stage. Now let's talk about the tournament schedules. This year's journey begins on February 17th in Seoul. VCT Pacific is split into 3 stages.
Rotate.
Stage 1 and Stage
तीनों आ
2.
गए।
2 Masters events are held in between each stage, and Champions will begin in August as the culmination of global competition for 2024. VCT Pacific will be split into 3 phases. The first phase is a GSL format where teams are separated into 3 groups, and the team to come out in first in each group goes straight to the playoffs. The 3 teams who finish second will play in a single round robin where the winner joins the playoffs in a single elimination format. After the intense battle during VCT Pacific kickoff, the top 2 teams will advance to Valorant Masters Madrid. Let's look at VCT Pacific Stage 1. Each team will be split into 2 groups of 5 Alpha teams and 6 Omega teams. Alpha teams will fight against the Omega teams in a single round robin. The top 3 teams will emerge from each group, advance to the playoffs, and will play in a double elimination bracket. Here, the top 3 teams will be punching their ticket to Valorant Masters. VCT Pacific Stage 2 has the same format as Stage 1, but this time the Alpha teams will compete against each other in their own group. Same goes for the Omega teams. The top 6 teams with the best performance over the course of Stage 1 and Stage 2 will make it to the VCT Pacific Stage 2 playoffs. The top 3 teams in playoffs and the 1 team with the highest championship points will earn their ticket to Valorant Champions. Championship points are a fresh addition to the VCT ecosystem in 2024. Earn championship points to qualify for Valorant Champions at the end of the year. Teams earn 1 point whenever they win a match during Stage 1 and Stage 2. They earn 3 points if they win kickoff for Stage 1. Teams will also earn 3 points whenever they win a Masters event. The goal, ultimately, is to reward teams who have been the most consistent throughout the year. Only the best of the best will come out on top. The tide is rising and teams will collide in Valorant Champions Tour Pacific 2024. See you all in Seoul, South Korea.
8-4 चल रहे 11-5 चल रहा था उल्टी हो गया आर्यन भाई अब चला के कमबैक कर लिया इन्होंने हुक्का में गाड़ मारा वाह भाई क्या टीम ए यार हमारा रहना उधर ही जा रहा जिस तरफ ऑफ है और ब्लाइंड भी नहीं कर रहा इधर चौधरी रहना ब्लाइंड करके पिक you all.
Welcome back to VCT Pacific Kickoff. I'm your host, Chubby Ninja, and with me I got my beautiful analysts. We got Acer, we got Achilles. He's obviously used to being called that. I'm feeling real good because we're finally going to see Group B. I'm really excited to see this. We're going to see an adjusted Team Secret and a completely revamped Talon from Thailand. Although it seems like there are a lot of North Americans on the team now.
There's a healthy mix is what we could say as far as Talon is concerned. But yes, it's been big changes. We just saw, another team that had monstrous changes in global esports. Couldn't get the win there. Talon, there's been a lot of eyes on this squad. We did get to see them a bit in the off season. Weren't able to win the tournament that they were playing in. That was the ESL Clash of Nations. But we're putting up a solid fight for a team that had recently come together. It seemed like there was going to be some strengths there. So now with more time to develop, we should expect a much stronger performance out of them here today.
Yeah, similar with Team Secret here. They offloaded 2 of their previous players, which one of them is actually playing on the other team, so there could be something happening there in terms of the narrative. But yeah, excited to see what the newest player addition for Team Secret is in NDG. He's been on the free agency for a couple of months now. Team Secret were happy when I guess he got through the vetting process, and now he's here in the Pacific League.
And we can see the players now. You know, Team Secret, they looked really good, especially in the early part of the season last year, and they ended up finishing around 5th or 6th, and they actually faced up against ZETA during LCQ and lost that spot to Champions. So we're really excited to see this new iteration of Team Secret.
Yeah, I mean, that was unfortunate timing for Team Secret because that was right when that chamber came back through. Laz just had an absolute pop-up performance. Def as well. That duo was going crazy to be able to get them through that LCQ. So Secret is catching that power spike that ZETA had hit right at the very end.
क्या बोल रहा है Enter? कैसा है तू?
Have they really fixed up some of the flaws that we saw for them? Because yes, we do have JDG.
तो Enter कहाँ गया?
Coming into this one.
कौन आया था VCT तो किससे बात कर रहा था?
That's going to be starting in a couple days.
अच्छा आर्यन को ले गया.
That means that
भाई Netflix का पासवर्ड अभी तक नहीं आया मालूम है क्या?
It's not that kind of fallback strategy that Secret did have last season, which was okay, we're moving over to a map where the operator is going to be important. We need to put dubstep over on the jet. We need to flip around our roles a little bit more because we just don't have the comfort there otherwise. They don't have that anymore. So how comfortable are they going to be? How much flexibility do they have in this role?
easy हो रहा है.
Now, Talon, this is a bit of a painful graphic to be showing off. They finished 9th in the regular season last year in LCQ around 5th or 6th. But they did show one surprising game. I'm going to say one map that they took off of HyperX last year. But it was on Pearl, which is one of HyperX's strongest maps.
अरे मैं वो कर रहा हूँ, watch party कर रहा हूँ इसमें.
अरे board by VCT last season to this season, it's ultimately it's not really worth it because the team is so very different. There's plenty of new faces that are coming into this talent lineup. I mean, coaching staff has obviously been changed as well, so it's basically a completely different team. But the other thing is that, yeah, Talent, like they had some moments last year, but they also had plenty of blunders. There was tons of series that Talent were playing in where it seemed like it was going to be winnable, where if they had just done one thing a little bit differently, maybe they could have closed out that map, maybe they could have won this round, given them this momentum. But so often we were seeing them experiment with random things. Pattytime was playing 17 different agents, never really getting to play anything twice in a row. It changes up on who was going to be playing in the lobby at given times, as well as just wild and bizarre strategies with the triple duelist attempt over on Split and that sort of thing. So with all of that going out the window, hopefully, I think that we can expect a very different display here from Talent.
It's going to be hard. They faced off a lot last year, but like you said, it's completely different roster now for Talent, or almost anyway. But Team Secret, let's get a little intro to NDG. Asura, you know, you're from the Philippines. Tell us, who's NDG and why should we care?
I feel very down if I actually don't have any information whatsoever. Anyways, NDG was a former Dallas esports player. He was very high in that particular team where he was doing well with Mojo, that went into the free agency, and like I said, they were able to, or he was able to get a slot here to play with the Team Secret roster. And real quickly enough, he was very known for his anchoring capabilities, or even his Sova. So him slotting into Team Secret when they needed someone to be that anchor fits well with what the team needs now.
And now we're looking at Lenny. You had mentioned this. He was a sub at Team Secret, and now he's the IGL of Talon? What?
Yeah, I mean, this is a really wild arc for Lenny because not only was a sub, we saw him subbed in once, and it was in one of the most critical moments that it possibly could have been in, and unfortunately, he wasn't put in a position to have a really solid performance in that game, and that was a part of the, the Team Secret demise last season. Now he goes over on Talent. He's in an opportunity where he can get some revenge on his previous organization, but he's IGLing, and we don't really know what to anticipate from this whatsoever. Whereas Jesse Vash, a much more known quantity as far as like what kind of strats he likes to go for, fairly loose. We know that he likes to play the solo, he likes to garner information for his teammates, but we don't really know what to expect from here.
I mean, Acer, how do you feel like Jesse is... He is so well known, not in just Valorant, in esports, and in, he's Lenny has IG.
अरे वो अपना वो AI वाली क्या वो लड़की रोबोट रहती वाली बात कर रहे हो अच्छा 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 कैसी है
कॉमेडी भाई पूरा मूवी हंस रहा
They're a team that
अच्छा
I
है
feel
अच्छा
like
है
still has some great mid-round
बॉलीवुड ऐसा मूवी
calls.
बनाता नहीं भाई
Might not be as clear cut for Lenny here to find that counter against his former teammates.
130 का टिकट
Well, this
था
is going to be very exciting, and now you can see our
100?
predictions here. Quack
130.
is soaring
130
with
रुपए में तो
talent
मूवी देख
today.
क्या है
The
भाई
rest of us
अबे भाई इधर वो रिलीज नहीं हो रही बोर्ड भाई
Secret Train. Shout out to Razzie Binks.
Oh,
Team
भाई,
Secret
क्या
streamer.
अबे भाई क्या सुनना तेरे इधर डीमन स्लेयर का वो आ गया क्या
Alright.
बुक माई शो पे देख तो
Achilles, why are you
मतलब क्या?
voting for
अरे वो
Team
डीमन स्लेयर की वो
Secret
आने वाली थी ना
this time
मूवी
around?
ये अभी 23 तारीख को आ रही ना
Still, you know,
कि
even with the
मुझसे यो
flaws they had
ताइबा
last
वाली
season, have a solid enough foundation to build
आएंगे
off
ना
of,
23 को
and
आएंगे
they
ना
don't
अगले
have to
भाई
make
अरे पर बुक माई शो पे
many
टिकट्स नहीं आएगी क्या उसकी
changes to basically integrate NDG into this roster. So I think that they're at a
Huh?
higher jumping off point
देखना
compared to
देखना
talent. But I also think that this
देखते एक
could
बार
end
उधर
up
आ
being
गई
a
क्या ना
very close series. I think that you know,
तो
good
मेरे
basketball
इधर
talent
टिकट्स
has just been
अरे इधर
on
अहमदाबाद
the
में
grind.
टिकट्स
Somebody
नहीं आई
is
अभी
working
तक
these
मतलब
guys hard to
इंटरेस्टेड
try to
इंटरेस्टेड
get
वाले
them ready
ऑप्शन
for
आ
this
रहा है
series. And
अभी तक
having
टिकट नहीं
spent
है
a
तो
little
मैं
bit of
वही
time
सोच
with
रहा
the
हूँ कि
team,
मतलब क्या
they
है आने
are
वाली
all
है
getting
कि नहीं
along
आने वाली
incredibly
है
well, it seems like, as far as the vibes
आए
are
तो ठीक
concerned.
नहीं आए तो
Everybody
पता
is
चलेगा
very
ना
much
भाई
on the
क्या
same
करना
page
क्या
with
नहीं
one
करना
another.
है
And they've also been working up some
वैसे भी यहाँ के लोगों को यार यहाँ पे ना लोगों को ये सब एनिमे में समझता नहीं यार मालूम है क्या
just from what I've been seeing, I think the talent has put in a
ये देखो
solid
कार्टून
amount of
बोलते हैं लोग
effort here
चूतिए
in the
लोग
time that they've had with this roster so far. But I think that Secret is
ना भाई कितना दुख होता मेरे
I could
को
be wrong.
I mean, Cruz could also be teaching them some K-pop moves. There's a
और
lot
थोड़ा सा
of synchronization
हाँ
with talent.
तू ऐसे
But
बोल
Team Secret, okay,
नहीं, ये
we're
बोलो।
gonna put all the biases aside. Team Secret is a really strong team.
Yeah.
But I want
Yes.
your hot take on who the key player is from Team Secret.
Okay, so when all of the other teams that we've been talking about, you know, for today has been like Dep, Povi, all frontline players, it's not
क्या
those,
दिख रही बोर्ड
or
में
it's
देख तो
not
एक बार
that
इसको
role that I think Team Secret really shines on. It's actually someone in the middle, with Envy actually being that, I think, star player. He joined Team Secret, I believe, last year, made a huge splash. So with him, I feel like he's the one that really creates that tempo with those mid-round plays that Team Secret likes to do.
Now we are going to hear from the coaches themselves. I'm really excited. Warbirds was such an interesting character that we got to speak to last year. And now the new coach, Frost, welcome.
जेटा लगा जी नेवर विंस ब्रो जी नेवर विंस नहीं होता है अपना मेन दिक्कत ऐसा है कि मेरे हिसाब से कि अपन लोग जिस सर्वर पे जिस मैच पे खेलते हैं ना ये लोग उस लेवल से बहुत आगे हैं हम लोग उनके लेवल को मैच करने में टाइम लगेगा एक बार में तुम ये नहीं सोच सकते कि तुम 2 बार जाके उनके स्टेट में खेल लोगे तो हो जाएगा अपनी टीमों के साथ में जी इसलिए जीत जाती है क्योंकि उनके साथ खेल चुके हैं सब
Frost, I haven't watched too many of
ट्रूली पर
his
सोच लो जी मतलब ये सब इंडियन सर्वर पे खेले इंडियन सर्वर पे खेलना उनकी मेंटालिटी पे खेलना दोनों डिफरेंट है दोनों की मेंटालिटी अलग लेवल पे काम करती है इसलिए जी नेवर विन बट या होपफुली विल विन द वन डे अभी तो अपन लोअर ब्रैकेट में गए ना तो अभी हो सकता है कि और आगे आएंगे अपन
Okay, from first, Warbirds from TS. That's your B match with talent. So how do you feel? Because
Will win,
you
bhai.
won,
Jetalal will win.
at the previous season, at the first match. 그래서 이번에 또 탈론과 TS가 다시 대결을 하게
यार इंग्लिश में
됐는데요.
सबटाइटल तो
어떤
डालो यार
분석이
एटलीस्ट
되는지
तो
보겠습니다. 왜냐면 저번 시즌에는 첫 경기에서
अभी लड़की देखना मेकअप कितना
TS가
लगेगा
이겼거든요.
बे आर्यन इसको देख
Obviously, it's a whole different team, a whole new style.
वॉच पार्टी क्या कर रहा है अपने चैनल पे करेंगे
आओ तो और किस पे करूंगा
And hoping that we can have a nice, close and fun match.
모든 게 새롭게
देखो तो
바뀌었지만
हेल्प करना ही नहीं कभी देखना ही नहीं कुछ करना ही नहीं है
더욱더 재미난 경기를 할 수 있을 것 같다고 답변을 들었습니다. Now let's ask Ross from Talent Esports. What do you feel about meeting TS as your
देख रहा है क्या बोल रही
opponents?
On a personal
भाई
level,
कोरिया
I think
बोल
it's
रही
really unfortunate for me because I was formerly GM.
वो किम जोंग उन नहीं दिख रहा मेरे को कहीं पे देखने नहीं आया था
वो कहीं पे लौटे पाएगा
कोरिया नहीं है मेरे वाला किम जोंग उन देखने आया
It's unfortunate that my first
Huh?
matchup,
काम धंधा नहीं किया
people I like,
क्या काम धंधा है उसको ले लेके इसको उसको गाली बकते रहता कटिंग मत करो ये मत करो वो करो आपकी फोटो साफ करो ये करो करो
있고 전에도
गार्ड में उंगली करते रहता इसको साला
첫 번째 매치를 만나게 된 게 조금 안타깝긴 하지만
और जिसकी गार्ड में उंगली करता है उसके गार्ड में आप फोड़ता हो
답변을
हाँ
받았습니다.
ना चुटकी लगता है मेरे को कभी कभी बहुत
About
ज्यादा
high expectations for the match, so let's also ask about how you prep for today. So how did you prep for the match against Talent?
Yep, so
म्यूजिक अच्छा लगा
a lot
रे
of it
बेलो
was just
बैकग्राउंड में
focusing on ourselves. There's new maps in rotation, there's new patches, so a lot of it was focusing on us and trying to draw what little we can from like solo queue and stuff like that.
बरोबर है ब्रो बरोबर है तेरा एकदम बात ही बरोबर है
과 전략들이 많기 때문에 우리 팀 자체에 집중하는 것에 더 핵심을
लड़की बोल रही है देखिए आइए देखते हैं आने वाली मैच में लोग कैसे परफॉर्म करते हैं अभी तो दोनों की दोनों टीम हग रही है कपड़े अच्छे पहनने से और जूते अच्छे पहनने से कोई अच्छा कोच नहीं हो जाता। कोचिंग करना भी आना चाहिए, लोगों ने तुमको सुनना चाहिए।
We basically just focus really heavily on the picks and bans, and since we know he's like a very good
Yeah,
coach,
खेलते हैं आर्यन
we
भाई।
kind of had an idea of trying to be a little bit more tricky than normal. So I'm very curious to see if you can figure us out.
झगड़ा हो रहा है
지금 이제 좀 더 맥픽에 집중을 했는데요. 이런 좀 다양한 맥픽에 대해서 TS가 어떻게 반응할지.
मेरे को भाई ये लड़की कोरियन में बात कर रही, जापानीज में बात कर रही, वो दोनों पुट्टी इंग्लिश में रिप्लाई कर रहा है, ऐसा क्यों हो रहा है?
ये दोनों बहन के लोड़े।
मैं नहीं तो रिप्लाई बराबर कर रही है, लड़की को इंग्लिश में बात करना चाहिए। मेरे को लग रहा है इसको आती नहीं। ये होस्ट को हायर करे होगा तो बोले उसको पूछे होगे तेरे को इंग्लिश आती ना, बोले हाँ आती आती। फिर स्टेज पे आके बोले अरे मैं तो मजाक कर रही थी। नी हाओ चलो बॉक्सर में जाओ लींच हट बाजू।
I respect it.
네, 저 친구는 인정하지만 오늘만큼은 아닐 것 같다고 두 팀이 이제 피스트 펌프가 함께 경고를 날렸네요. Thanks for the interview, both coaches. The best of luck in your race.
लेके मारो इसी लड़का निकाल लेंगे भाई, निकाल लेंगे। आ जा रहे ऐसी थोड़ी बोलते लाला भी भाई। बे हिप्पो जैसा ये डेस्टिनी कहाँ से आ गया इसमें?
I'm really excited for this. That was so cute. The little banter between the coaches. I didn't realize how close they were. But of course.
This is like when you are in like a minor baseball league and your brothers on the other team have to play against each other. That's kind of what the vibes felt like between that one. I think I need to get in there and maybe coach both of them on their smack talk, because some of that was a little bit weak. I think maybe they're trying to maintain the friendship, but you know, all's fair in love and war. But I'm really curious to see how this one's going to go down, because I mean, like,
भाई वो ऐसे कीबोर्ड को ऐसा उसका टाइप कर रहा है, ऐसा
trying to maintain the friendship, but you know, all's fair in love and war.
बॉडी शेपिंग क्यों कर रहा है? जिसको कर रहा है उसको तकलीफ नहीं, तेरे को क्यों तकलीफ हो रही है?
I mean, like Frost was kind of alluding to there,
डेस्टिनी को बोल रहा भाई, ये उसका कीबोर्ड पूरा ऐसा आड़ा है भाई, ऐसा रखा है। अपना कीबोर्ड ऐसा रहता है, उसका कीबोर्ड ऐसा है। अब वो ऐसे में ऐसे करके गिरता है।
Yeah, at least for me, I'm just
मैं भी मतलब थोड़ा कीबोर्ड ऐसा ही रहता है मेरा, पर मेरे को जब टाइप करना होता है तो मैं सीधा वो भोसड़ी का ऐसे करके टाइप कर। ये क्या मतलब, ये पियानो बज रहा है क्या?
Talon, when I saw them in Clash of Nations, and thankfully I was one of the talents that was covering that, they really put a lot of emphasis on Governor. Granted, that was months ago, so it might have changed within that span of time, but they really put a lot of emphasis on how very aggressive this North America is, and could be playing through that strength coming into this one, because again, I really feel that Jeremy has really proven himself from last year specifically.
Whoa. Sorry.
Yeah, I was just gonna say a little bit bold. I mean, I don't necessarily fully disagree with you, but I mean, Jeremy did also have plenty of highlight moments. Maybe the best with that play on Haven, which
अपने को नहीं जमेगा, अपना बेटर है, इसका तरफ क्या ऐसा खेलेगा भाई ये।
Haven is not in the pool anymore for Secret.
True.
Yeah, that's right. I mean, we were talking about this Haven being such an incredible map for Team Secret. What kind of maps are we expecting this time around?
Again, I'm just looking at my memory on what Team Secret was known for before Haven. It was bind and split. So if they can maybe gravitate towards that, but again, with the addition of NEG, them being a 5-man roster now.
चलो लाला, अरे मारना है आगे चलो बढ़ो।
I am still kind of up in the air about what's this to happen in the map is they only play Haven in that one particular turn.
चलो, we are perfectly live now. Let's
when they only changed up, because you know there were more maps to play.
Yeah, well, maybe it was on purpose.
It
right?
probably was.
Last month.
हंटर देख रहा है कि तू कैसे खेल रहे लोग, इनके ऐसा खेलना पड़ेगा भाई, कब तक तू डायमंड पे झूलेगा भाई? सीख कुछ सीख, इन लोग से सीख कैसे खेलना पड़ता।
teams to a certain extent. A lot of the high
कौन Ascendant 3 आ गया?
actually comes to mind also take place on Haven. So there's moments where he's sneaking around out of aim,
Hunter Ascendant कब हो गया?
mows down 3 people.
That
was also a fairly comfortable map.
अबे Hunter Immortal गया हुआ है क्या? पता नहीं मेरे को, पूछा नहीं मेरे को। Hunter तू Immortal गया है क्या?
From Talon, because as far as I'm concerned, the slate is wiped clean.
Immo नहीं गया फिर, Immortal नहीं गया ना ये Hunter।
99 Hyperx
वही तो बोल रहा हूँ मैं, मेरे को पता है उसका ले हुआ था।
फ्यूजन भी तो डायमंड है तो फ्यूरी
क्या कर रहा? हाँ
फ्यूजन भी तो डायमंड है।
अरे वो तो मैं भी हूँ।
क्या?
हाँ गया वो बोलता, अरे हाँ गया बढ़िया है। बायो में लिखा था मैंने इमो प्लेयर। अरे 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 कहीं टारगेट हो रहा है कि कहीं जा रही है बातें, कहीं जा रही है। मेरे को ये बातें किसी एक डायरेक्शन में इशारा करते हुए लग रही है, बॉडी शेविंग की तरफ।
भाई स्पोर्ट प्लेयर सारे आउट ऑफ शेप है, देख सब टेम्पलेट आप।
अबे तो वही रहता भाई, उनको खेलने फुर्सत मिले तब कुछ करने वाला नहीं, जिम ना कुछ हमारे जैसा। देखो हमारे भाई साहब बनाना पड़ता भाई थोड़ा।
ये सब तेरे जैसे इतने स्मार्ट तो देख नहीं सकते।
अरे नहीं आ रहे प्लीज यार, प्लीज यार
पतले पुतले भाई,
ये हड्डी मुड्डी
भाई एक कुक में पूरी टीम उड़ जाए।
वे भाई बोर्ड पे ऐसे दिखते थे अपन भी लौड़े एप्पल मत एक टाइम पे ऐसे थे अपन भी बारीक चीज, बाद में अपन ने ऐसा बॉडी बनाने, तो पहले अपन ऐसे दिखते थे। मतलब च्युइंगम खाते आ रहा साला।
अबे मैं मेंटेन दो आर्यन मैं
च्युइंगम ला को थूकू कुठे इकडे तिकडे लोड़ा। भाई लोग च्युइंगम खाते मालूम है क्या बॉड भाई, ये लोग च्युइंगम खाते मालूम है क्या, फिर ऐसा खत्म हो गया ना, च्युइंगम खत्म हो गया ना तो ऐसा निकालते ऐसा टेबल के नीचे चिपका देते, फिर वो दूसरा बुट्टा आता है, बोलता अभी यार इधर से निकाल के फिर खा जाते।
अच्छा बे, अच्छा बताया मेरे को, मतलब पता ही नहीं था।
इनके बाल देख कैसे जितरे जैसे है बे, इनके सलून नहीं है क्या?
सब झिपरे झापरे मोटे भाई।
बे भाई जमाल भाई ने उधर जाके कटिंग का दुकान डाले ना, इन लोग की कटिंग हो जाती बराबर से। कैसे दिख रहे बाल, एकदम ना आगे नहीं आया वैसे लग रहे एकदम दलित। अच्छी परफ्यूम बिरफ्यूम लगा के बैठना और स्टेज पे लोगों को स्मेल आती।
अबे ये सब पोट्टे रेडिएंट रहते क्या?
हाँ यार बे यार लौड़े रेडिएंट रहते, मतलब पूछ कैसे रहा तू भोसड़ी का प्रश्न क्या होगा, रेडिएंट ही होंगे लोग इतना अच्छा, अगर ये लेवल पे खेल रहे तो रेडिएंट तो इजीली पहुंचते होंगे। अबे ऐसा नहीं है, इन लोग के पास में 5 मैन है ना, 5 मैन में रेडिएंट पीडिएंट इजीली निकल जाता है भाई। देख 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 चल जेरेमी
देख रहा क्या फ्यूजन चल
चल्ला अरे मैं भी चल्ला तू भी
दिखाते आ रहे भाई।
वो पुट्टे को बार भेजा। अच्छा कोच है उसका।
मैं कौन से एपिसोड का ये एपिसोड 6?
क्या हां एपिसोड 6
यार भाई
क्या इमो का चलना भी रहेगा यार इधर।
It's going to be tails. So team secret, you may not choose whether to be team A.
All right, well now we can get into this one. See where exactly the talent does have the first ban. A lot of curiosity about this because, as I was saying before the walkouts came through, I think widely the slate from last year should be wiped clean because
Icebox man हो गया वाह।
Very different coaching staff and a very
split ban हो गया वाह।
Icebox does get taken away. And you were referencing Acer that split might be a comfort pickup here for the side of Team Secret, but they're actually banning it away.
Yeah, now that I've actually gone and checked my notes.
वे ब्रीज एसेंट इसकी माँ की क्या मैच चुने इन लोग ने?
Last year's most highest win rate
बाइंड हो गया बैन। लोटस बैन हो गया इसकी बैन की, तो फिर बचा क्या? सनसेट ओ अच्छा डिसाइडर हुआ बे। पहले ब्रीज एसेंट और फिर सनसेट पे डिसाइडर। ये ब्रीज तो देख रहा था मेरे को कैसे खेलते हैं अपने को, तो ब्रीज लगा तो अपन डॉज करते हैं, ब्रीज नहीं
खेलना टट्टी मैप है ना ब्रीज।
भाई इन लोगों ने चुना है, ये लेवल का वोटर ने ब्रीज को चुना है, मतलब कुछ तो होगा उसमें।
भाई क्या मैप है,
कल भी देख रहा था ना मैं, कल रात को भी जो वॉच पार्टी किया ना मैं, उसमें भी लौड़ा ब्रीज चुरा था इन लोग ने। इन लोग को पता नहीं क्या ब्रीज से लोटस से क्या ऐसा लगा हुआ है मालूम है?
Catching teams off guard a lot of times when it came down to his timings of the darts and whatnot. And not
everybody
really understood his timings nor his lineups that he was going to have on that. They take it away to leave Sunset out in the open for them. So it would be
मेरे को लग रहा है निकाल लेंगे करके क्या
on that
है
map here in VCT. So if this one ends up going the distance, which I have a strong feeling that it very well
लर्क करता ना वो बे भाई, इनका ना मालूम है क्या, कल के मैच में ड्यूलिस लर्क कर रहा था।
My biggest concern for Secret
भाई ये अबे वो ड्यूलिस बीच में तो घूम रहा है, वो पुट्टी इधर से एंट्री ले रहे मालूम है क्या? एंट्री कौन ले रहा है? एंट्री सुआ और स्काई ले रहे हैं, और ये पट्टा वो बीच में उनका नियॉन ऐसा बीच में घूम रहा मैदान में इधर उधर कहीं कहीं मिड से आ रहा है, ऑफ चला रहा।
अबे तो इनोवेटर का भी रोल होता है ना।
अबे पर ड्यूलिस्ट
arrays and then there's some kind of iteration that's
एक तो नियॉन लिया बीच में लर्क कर रहा भाई, बीच में ऑफ चला रहा था मिड में जाके। और पीछे से गाली दे रहे होंगे लौड़े, ड्यूलिस ले लिया लर्क कर रहा।
because of how big of a map that is and he's going to be
नियॉन फास्ट कर सकता नहीं इसलिए।
बे बोर्ड भाई ऐसा वाला वो मॉनिटर लेना है बे अपने को, बड़ा वाला एकदम। इनकी आंखें खराब नहीं होती कभी इतना ऐसा देखते तो दिखता कैसा होगा साला? अपन ने ऐसा देखा तो अपने को तो पता ही नहीं चलता किधर किधर है पुट्टा करके।
वो आंखें गड़ा के देखते एकदम स्क्रीन में।
वही तो बोल रहा हूँ कितना नजदीक रखते हो लोग देखना भाई
find value for you almost no matter what. So
साला मैं तो आधा घंटा अपने आधा घंटा ऐसा बैठ के तो अपनी गांड पड़ जाती है आके आके दर्द देने लग
we are
जाएगी
going to be seeing that very likely in his
आओ ना भाई
ऐसा घुस के देख रहे देख देख उसका मॉनिटर देख ऐसा ऊपर ऐसा देख रहा हूँ ऐसा
Is gonna be Breeze. I mean, like you guys said, we're very curious about the team comps.
मैं नियॉन लिया एक पुट्टे नियॉन लिया मैं पुट्टे नियॉन लिया अभी दिख गया मेरे को इसकी स्क्रीन पे
Expect Jesse to
आंखें छोटी है इसलिए
you know,
बे भाई वे अंतर नहीं बे अंतर ये नहीं बे थोड़ा अंतर बोल देगा
the Sova still finds an immense amount of value.
ऐसे बोल रहा आंखें छोटी है ना बोलता इसलिए घुस के देखना पड़ता
Breeze is the opening map between Team 1. We saw the Sovas on either side.
बे भाई कैसी बात कर रहा बे अंतर तू ऐसी बातें मत कर बे
The most shocking thing.
चलो अभी मैं तुम्हारे को अपनी लेजेंडरी कमेंट्री देता हूँ इधर में ये क्या इंग्लिश में सुन रही थी हिंदी में सुनो
How many other teams have been fooling around with trying to make this your
ए चलो अगले लगा फटाफट चालू करो
impact yesterday from Izu. Is that something that Talon have up their sleeve? They said
अरे शॉट पे
मैं कीबोर्ड माउस को खुद का लाते क्या इनको यहीं से मिलता
bring out here onto the stage to try to really mess with Team Secret.
कीबोर्ड माउस को खुद का लाते हो
a part of the formula.
And of course, we're always also very curious about stylistically how Talon's going to end up performing. I'm expecting a lot more aggression and a lot more cohesion coming from this team this year around.
Yeah, and I mean it's something that everything
pick भी नहीं कर रहा
is basically lacking from but again there was that foundation. It was just the decision making.
बोर्ड भाई सेटअप कितने का होगा 4 मिनट लगता
whatever it may be.
पता नहीं यार उसमें क्या लगा बे भाई
Okay. Well, screw it. I was about to say.
ये तो मैंने कल देखा है ये जो है ना अपना हार्बर का तो देखा मैंने हार्बर वाइपर सोआ नियॉन यूरो ये कल वाला सेटअप ही है सेम ऐसा भी था उसका T1 ने भी कल यही सेटअप लिया था
They're going for the neon
टीम सीक्रेट लेके आए
from T1 and Bleed yesterday.
Cypher?
Very like that.
No flasher?
Even coming out on the defense. Imagine how little map control they have because they don't have the Sentinel. They're gonna have to move around.
देखना Cypher plays कैसे होते हैं इसमें.
The lack of Sentinel control. That being said, there's also
Cypher के ट्रिपा देखने मिलते हैं अंतर अपने को भी देखते को सीखने मिलेगा थोड़ा बहुत इधर.
When they have their ultimates, but
कैसा खेलना पड़ता है
Cypher को. Walls to slice up the map.
भाई अपन ये Talon Esports को सपोर्ट कर रहे हैं क्योंकि उसका लोगो अच्छा लग रहा है.
They're definitely cooking something. And we're going to start. Let's go over the casters. Will and Quack are going to take us through all the action.
Thank you very much, Chubby, Ninja, Aster, and Achilles. Yes, this is one heck of a mix-up of a composition for talent, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, and if this was the same roster as last year, we'd start to have our questions, but this is their first showing. They're here to prove something. And honestly, they touched upon some of the hints, the ingredients, right? We've seen why some of the agents individually have been picked up on Breeze so far in kickoff. See if it comes all together into one nice dish.
Still, I mean, what Acer said definitely makes sense because on the defensive side, especially with halls being opened up, if you're not watching that with the Sentinel, how are you going to... They managed to start things off with
open your debut in VCT Pacific. Governor, a lot of people had questions about the pickup, but trying to silence the doubters from the pistol round in the very first match.
Oh, yeah.
Still, Ben kind of over-aggressing a little bit too much. Just get fallen down by Borka. So with that, a little bit more space. Team Secret gets to recover for just a second, maybe setting up for that ace split push.
Out from Governor, of course, a bit of a
बढ़िया
mishap coming down from Halls, but they should still be able to find some good shots. Cruz will eventually clean up that kill, and that makes it a lot easier. The door open is a good sign for Governor as well. And just Jesse Bash left spotted. Comes a little delayed, but Governor will find the headshot.
That's just a quick start already. I mean, we're thinking about Governor.
उसका कीबोर्ड कैसे चमक रहा है एकदम चन्ना चन्ना एकदम लाइट जैसा बुझरा हो रहा है ऐसा.
Acer mentioned it a little as well in their ESL clash.
बड़ा कीबोर्ड दिख रहा है उसका.
That this entire roster.
ये कोणता कीबोर्ड है भी वो ट्रांसपेरेंट की वाला भी अपने को भी लेना पड़ता वैसा.
He's the duelist and he's here to frag. And his first round says it all.
Yeah, I mean, even in the merge video, when he talks about how he was actually impressed with the playmaking and kind of the smart
बड़ा मेरा वो भी है समझा क्या
now on the neon some extra utility to work around as well with things like
भाई लोग के बाद देखना भाई नाइफ लेने को स्किन नहीं है भाई छोटे छोटे नाइफ चला रहे हैं
yesterday who had a decent
मेरे जैसे जब भी बेचारे गरीब लोग चांदनी मार के बोल गया ना भाई चांद मेरे को देख देख हैक कर रहा है बोला देखो हैक कर रहा है चोरी का फिर से आगे कैसे मार दिया उसने वॉल के आर पर कैसे मार रहा हो
supported by Cruz as well as that cast
भाई हैक कर रहा भाई
I mean, it's just starting things off. You're already picking up the Phantom round 2.
साला गवर्नर हैक कर रहा है चोरी का
to maybe secure a bonus round. as well. It's just so
4 seconds, 4 seconds.
Oh, good,
Lenny
good,
tries
good,
to
good,
hold
good.
up tunnel, able to take down one. It's information enough for Talon.
Yeah, and only the ghost as well. I don't
बराबर है, बराबर है,
mind it at
जान
all.
दो।
In fact, I like it, right? They're very aware of the fact
Like,
that
yeah,
okay, you're
tight
the one
angle
with
hold
the
करते
pistol.
लोग।
You could push out a
हाँ
bit.
ना।
Yeah, you might have
बे
questions.
अपने
about
बोलते
it's
ऐसा
so
घुसने को
etc.,
देखते
but at
सीधा
the
सीधा
end of the
मालूम है
day,
क्या
this is
देखते नहीं
it.
आगे
There
पीछे
you go.
कुछ नहीं सीधा
What
घुस
matters
बोलते
is you win the round and that you're not giving away.
अबे तो अपन VCT नहीं खेलते ना।
You want to carry
वे पर अपने बोलते में ऐसा ये लेवल पे खेल सकते हैं ना वो लोग वो नॉर्मल गेम भी वैसे ही खेलते हैं मालूम है क्या देखो
Man, good shot from long range.
नॉर्मल
इतना
गेम भी वो
ट्राई
लोग
नहीं
उसी
करना
लेवल
पड़ता हर बार।
बे भाई तब भी होता भाई ये लेवल पे जाने के बाद ट्राई करना पड़ता तेरे को
He's already all
तू
the
ये
way
नहीं
to
सोच
the
सकता
best.
कि
I
तेरे को
don't think
1.5
you
मिनट का
can
टाइम है तो
respect
तू
the
पहले
timing
5 सेकंड में प्लांट करेगा
कौन करता है
अबे अपन इस करते लौड़े
अबे अपन टेक्निकली के बाद ही यूज करते हैं
Might not be able to do all too much. High blocks off so much.
मैं देख रहा क्या पीछे गोस्ट पड़ी थी उसने उठाया नहीं
Easy second round win for Talon.
Yeah, if he had a
हाँ
sheriff,
लौड़े
he would get a lot
ऐसा
more
अपन
potential
ऐसे अपन नहीं करते
there,
आगे
but
पुट्टे खड़े
also gets
पहले
spotted
स्किन
right
उतर
at the end, doesn't have the
हाँ
long range
समझा क्या
weaponry, and thinks
ये
it
रहता
was
भाई
planned,
क्यों करना है
dropping
उसी
just
से
a
खेलो
martial
स्किन
buy,
बिस्किन मत
so
मंगा करो बार
the
बार
importance with the
ए स्किन
fans
देना
is
स्किन देना भाई
overdrive on
ऐसा
Governor
थोड़ी
now
होता
as well.
देख रहा है
That's
उसमें
sort
एक
of
भी
rifle.
फुटता ऐसा नहीं होगा
You
जिसने
have
बोला
some
भाई थोड़ा
good
स्किन तो दे
capabilities to push out
सबके पास स्किन है लौड़े
with the overdrive.
हाँ
Really
पर उसने
tighten
मांगा
the
नहीं
back
मालूम
on
है
a
क्या देखो
bonus.
Not to mention
भाई स्ट्रेच रेस पे खेलते हैं मालूम है क्या बड़े भाई स्ट्रेच रेस पे
the
खेलते हैं
economy just looks great for Talon in round 3 to maybe potentially carry this over into a bonus. It's a question
चलो,
of
चलो।
secret. I mean, what is their game plan?
लेफ्ट हैंड खेलते हैं ना ये लोग फुट्टे
Out on the attack, it hasn't worked out so well.
ये सब वो है रे अपने
especially
खेलते हैं अपना
continues to push out the
CS:GO वाले रहते हैं ना ये लोग CS:GO वाले पूरे उसी से
Not
खेलते हैं
gonna
लेफ्ट
push
हैंड
out
ही
right
खेलते हैं
away. I like the patience from
भाई
Talon.
ये हार्बर अच्छा लग रहा है वाले मैप पे
You know
ट्राई करना पड़ेगा
that
अपने
the
को
opponents have to play a bit slow. They don't want to take any risks just yet.
Yeah, they've adapted to this
बोर्ड
already.
में तो इनोवेटेड ट्राई
इन्वर्टेड खेला हूं मैं मेरे को अच्छा लगता है इन्वर्टेड खेलना पर वो क्लिप्स की वजह से नहीं खेल पाता मेरे को लेफ्ट में क्लिप वो नहीं बनती ना मोंटाज बनाता है बहुत तकलीफ होती है
Now they're trying to really just funnel them into A main.
Just checking around. Nobody's here though. Team Secret just waiting things out. Yes, you've picked up the overdrive, but that thing can burn out as well if it doesn't find any kills. So that might be their idea. However, you are running out of time, so it might be sensible to make a move. Ban, however, seeing that they made a move, takes one out, tries to look for another, gets gunned down by Envy instead. A little bit sharper, and with that, maybe a bit of an opening. Cruz hiding inside of the cove, though, turns back around, doesn't expect to play with calls. Here comes Governor, picks up the Vandal, tries to wallbang, can't quite find all too much.
Already a lot of damage done, and if Talon very easily could get at least another kill with Jeremy so low. Still a very doable round for Talon, trying to lead with a dominant 3-0 half.
तीन ले गया वो आज
Potentially still being around the switch.
Just a bit of that mix-up of the 50-50 angle or something. I'm not too sure, but whatever it is, it's all down to Governor.
सेव करने जा रहा देख रहा है क्या तू क्लियर सेव करने जा रहा है बुट्टा वहीं से उसको पता नहीं होगा अपने
It's just a little too much.
Yeah, we don't want to
भाई अपने बुट्टे सेव नहीं करते बुट्टे सेव और ये पैसा है ना नेक्स्ट राउंड देखेंगे ना भाई
Obviously, great credit to Jet Boys, who is
देख रहा है क्या 2900 रुपए पड़े उसका पूरी गन आ जाएंगे उसके लेकिन नेक्स्ट राउंड के लिए सेव कर रहा हूं
English calling. Everyone else has experience calling in English and communicating. So it could be part of that.
भाई अपने को ये सब सीखना पड़ता है भाई यही तो सीखने वाली चीज है इसलिए मैं वैलोरेंट नहीं खेल रहा मालूम है क्या इसी रीजन से नहीं खेल रहा
Bonus round, you're still getting away with a Vandal.
कैसा करेगा ऐसे
So
लोग
Talon,
करेंगे
the
तो
result is not poor, but we'll see if those
क्या बोलता है अंतर बरोबर कि
show
नहीं
throughout the map.
अगरा नहीं बे मैं खेलने नहीं आ रहा भाई नहीं तो खेलने बैठूंगा कंटिन्यू बुट्टे नहीं रहते थे ना रैंडम पोर्टल तक खेलने में मजा नहीं आता किसको क्या बोल रहा है भाई 5 में से 4 बुट्टों के आसपास तो माइक नहीं रहता अपन कॉम जो तो चुप हो जाना भरने के बाद शांति रखना ये ना बोल भोसड़ी के ऐसा है ना तो ये वैलोरेंट पे 1v1 वाला देखो ना ये 1v1 मैचेस मस्त छोटी-छोटी साइड रहेगी एकदम उसमें खेलेंगे
Yeah, a very aggressive dig into Halls as
बेवर
well.
ऑपरेटर लाइट नहीं इन्होंने एक भी
Props to Jeremy. Big risk you take as that primary jet. Oh, it's a little too high. He sent it up from a bit too far. NDG, welcome to VCT. Gets shut down on that first death.
बे भाई वो खड़ा हो गया
To
बे
reconsider how he
एफके
sets up those tripwires from long range.
That's a rude awakening. Team
AFK.
Secret just trying to find ways still, but feeling some of these old patterns, they're not quite able to find all too much unless
भी वैसा का वैसे अटका हुआ है
they get the information that they need. And with so many early aggressive plays coming out from Talon, they're starting to feel that heat. So just trying to escape that for a second. I mean, they keep holding back, but Talon's just going to keep pushing out.
Yeah, and Talon has the read now, right? They've pushed out. They knew it was the Cypher.
B
They
audio,
didn't
B
see
audio.
any other further info from mid. More on B main. Good shots from Lenny as well. Nowhere to go for Team Secret.
Yeah, Recon just confirms even more.
Ek
So they
mid aa
know
raha hai
it's
वापस.
very much so an investment into the A site. As long as everyone here stays tucked in, it's probably good enough.
Fusion देख रहा क्या?
However, with the Owl Drone being committed,
Yeah.
it's an easy frag kill for Envy.
अभी वाला नहीं देख
If it
रहा
pushes
idea.
out though,
पुट्टे
yeah.
AFK तो उनका है
VCT देख रहा हूँ
Ben coming
नहीं
up
उसका
from
पुट्टा एक
behind.
AFK है वाइपर दिख रहा है देखो वाइपर नहीं चल रहा है पूरे मैप में छुपा हुआ है
And Ban's been this guy who's just
अरे
walking
स्विच
out
बंद कर
every
दे मैं जरा
round up
VCT
to a certain point. Gate crashes back.
चल
Gate
लग रहा
scouts out the other
बड़
side.
में देख रहा क्या
Almost just like a
वाइपर
deadly
AFK
drone.
होगा
And so far, I would say successful. Even if he doesn't get contact on a map like Breeze, if you're able to dig deep and then
अबे
gate
AFK
crash
रहता
back,
तो गेम
a lot
चालू
of
नहीं होता
information
बेस
gained.
गॉड फ्यूरी
Works
पर वो
very well
बीच
in
में जाके
timing
खड़ा
the
हुआ है
governor's pushouts in these first kills as well.
उनको वाइपर आया नहीं
Whatever
हाँ
plan
देख
Talon
टेक पॉज
had,
बोला ना मैं दो
it
पुट्टे
has
AFK
been
थे उनके
working out. And we'll have to
वाइपर का
take
भी
a quick break.
आगा था और उसका भी आगा था
Hopefully it gets sorted out ASAP.
Hopefully. Yeah.
अरे
It did
भाई
look a
कल
little bit
टैग
weird, but
इसमें
whatever
थ्रो
it
नहीं
is,
कर
still, I
सकते
mean,
क्या कर सकते हो
kills
क्या
for
भाई हाँ भी
kills,
इसमें थ्रो कर रहे तो
and
पुट्टे
you can definitely see that this
अरे
is
हो
the
भाई
game plan that Talon has
नियान को
brought
बोले
to
एंट्री
this
नहीं ले रहा
map.
बोले लर्क
Yes,
कर रहा
that's
बोले
why
थ्रो
they-
कर रहा हूँ मैं
And the Desk talks about it, right? You have to play it. I totally agree. You even have the double controller.
भाई
The
सपोर्ट
armor
स्टाफ
can
देखना
help
कितना
with
गजब है
pushouts as
ऐसा
well.
सपोर्ट स्टाफ है तो
And
मैं भी
that's
जा
the
रहा भाई
only way
खेलने के
you're
लिए
going to
इसमें
feel comfortable at your defaults on a
भाई बन
wide
के लिए
map.
उसके लिए गेम
like
अच्छा
Breeze.
उसमें बहुत
So far it's
उसमें
working.
गेम
Now
अच्छा
the
है
question is, you
भाई,
still have something
please.
like the Cypher.
कोच बन के
Now,
जाएंगे।
obviously, you got to be careful how you put up
हाँ
your
भाई कोच
tripwires.
बच जाता
But Team Secret,
तू तो
they
टीपू
do
को
have
कोच
tools to
करता है
answer to
टीपू
this.
को करता था मैं एक जमाने में
Whether
कोच
it's
वो और मैं
you always
फोर्टनाइट
go in
साथ
this
में
spot, you
खेलते थे
start to
उसको कोच
rush and
करता
make
था
sure
मैं
that
क्या
you
खेलता
can't
बोला
just
था
directly push out
lag
into
हो
the
रहा
post
भाई।
plant, or do you always wait for the
के
early
टीपू का
picks?
भरोसा ना रहे
And that's up to you to decide. Obviously, they can't discuss it
जॉर्ड
here.
एकदम जॉर्ड
as we do have a
टीपू
tech pause on a timeout.
उसने ले लिया ना
But
अभी
we'll
सर
see
ले लिया
what
अभी
the
कहाँ
adjustment
करता हूँ
is,
सब
'cause
देखना
this has
तो
now been the consistent story
टीपू क्या
for
करता
the
है
past couple rounds, the first rounds of this match.
Yeah, you really got to find those gaps to really exploit this.
तो भाई ऐसे फैन हो तो क्या मजा आएगा भाई अपनी टीम में बोलाओ फाइनल बेंच
Although it can be really successful, there are little bits
लोग
where
भी इतने ठाले हो गए कि
it still
फ्यूरी को
leaves
चेयर
a little
करेंगे
bit more
ये
for
बॉल भाई
Talon,
तो
and
यूट्यूब
we
बड़ा
saw
तेरे
that
बहुत
in
फैन
round
बनेंगे
three.
भाई मेरे फैन बनेगा ना तो लोग ऐसा रोड के खड़ा करेगा दिल भाई
Yeah,
Really,
I'm
भाई?
curious. I'm
नहीं,
curious
नहीं,
how,
बोर्ड भाई।
because I want to see how Team Secret answers
समझ रहा?
back, because I have faith that they will, and then I want to see what the next page looks like from Talon. Because the attacking side, I think,
पूरा आउट फिर
has
से होगा
some
वाले भाई
ideas on how Talon
Yeah.
expects to play around it.
अबे
And
तो
that'll
भाई वो
come
दो
down to
पुट्टे एफके दे रहा हूँ उसमें
Of course, the Yoru can continue to kind of
बे
poke
दो
your
कहाँ है
prod,
ये बता
kind of mess up the Cypher setup
Cypher
as
भी
well,
AFK
but
था
the Neon's still there
अभी तो अभी
available for the
क्या ये
actual
करेंगे क्या
execute
लोग
with things like
राउंड
the
वापस
fast
देंगे
lane.
हम
राउंड वापस
On this
करेंगे बोला
defensive side, if they keep
क्या
getting
बात
away
कर रहा सच्ची
with these, and I wouldn't say it's for free
अबे
either. I would
एंटायर
say
अभी
a couple
अपन
of
नहीं
these,
जानते
Team
फ्यूरी
Secret's
वहाँ पे
ready,
जाके खेला
Governor's
हुआ है ये
just
सब
getting the
जानता
first
है
अरे
kill.
मेरे को कैसा है मैं कैसा
Just
अभी
is
स्पॉन्सर
Governor
करता था तो
getting
मेरे को
that
ऐसा
first
डिटेल
kill.
आ जाती है
I mean,
पहले
repeated
फोन
so
आ गया
many
था
times. This match
इसलिए
could be over that quick.
अरे मैसेज आया रोहित गेम से
You know, there might be some issues here and there.
अच्छा
A lot of Team
एक
Secret
5 मिनट का
supporters.
टाइम लगेगा बोले थोड़ा कर रहे बोले हम इशू रिजॉल्व कर रहे बोले रिजॉल्व हुआ क्या मैसेज चालू कर दे बोले अभी मैसेज आया मेरे को राइट
Fans.
ऐसा अपने को जान पहचान रखना पड़ता है एंटर
And
जब
Team
बड़े बड़े
Secret,
लोग होते
they
हैं तुमको
talk
तो
about
पता है
themselves. They
अबे
were so
जनता का
close,
खरीदी
and not
हुई है क्या
necessarily in
उन्होंने
terms of
पूरी
score line at the
ये
very
लौड़े
last
में 5
minute that always
पिकते
matter, but they always got
हैदराबाद
to
में मैच था ना भाई 8-8 10 हजार में 5
get
पिक
to
रहे थे
Masters, to get
क्या
to
बात
लोगों ने लिए भी है
champion, and
आओ
then they just weren't able to clinch that ticket.
8-8
Now, they
10
say,
हाँ
I
ना
don't
भाई
think our ideas were wrong. All we need is to kind of just
मैं बोल रहा
show up,
अपन
a little
पाइमन
bit more
खेलना चालू कर
firepower,
देते अपन भी
just one
चलते
change on the roster.
टीम
चलता
फ्यूरी
ना
बना
भाई।
लेते इसकी में आके खेलेंगे 5 बंदे तो है अपन तू मैं आर्यन हो गया गॉड बाय हो गया मोहित को खिला लेते
It really makes you think.
एक पुट्टा एक्स्ट्रा स्पेयर में होना ना तो ऋतिक को रख लेते थे तो झाड़े को रख लेते ए भाई मैं VCT लेवल पे
This first kickoff match. There might be a lot
टी-शर्ट हो रहा ना टी-शर्ट कुछ नहीं वो साला वहां से ला लेंगे अपन बॉडी से ला लेंगे ना 150 वाली 5
वो प्रिंट करा लेंगे 100 रुपए में
प्रिंट का को करा रहा है सेम वाली पोलो टी-शर्ट लेके आ लिया पर वो लाइनिंग वाली ऐसी वो पॉइंट ले
तो प्रिंट कराना पड़ेगा ना नाम को प्रिंट करना पड़ेगा फ्यूरी
ना बे तो वो कैसा होगा उसके लिए अपने अबे वो उससे करा लेंगे ना अपना प्रिंटर वाले से करा लेंगे ना प्रिंटिंग वाले से वो प्रिंट करवा लेंगे इधर छाती पे लगा लेंगे उसके ऊपर सील के वैसा चिपका लेंगे हो गया ये देख ऐसा वन पीस लिखा है ना ऐसा लिख लेंगे अपन फ्यूरी अरे मैं करा दूंगा अबे हाँ दूधू डिजाइन कर देगा अपना लोगो
ये तो अपने लोगो क्या रहेगा भाई
लोगो अबे टीएफ हो गया
मिस्टर
भाई टीएफ क्या लगेगा
और उसका लीडर मिस्टर पांडे
फेस का लोगो लगाएंगे अपन ऐसा वाला मालूम है फेस वाला
भाई लीडर आईजे
आईजीएल शिवा पांडे हो जाता अपना टेक्निकल सपोर्ट वपोर्ट सब वो बता देगा चश्मीस अरे लेजी क्या है पांडे अपना वो हो जाता सपोर्ट स्टाफ
I'm curious, and again, it is still early on in the half. That team
अपने में गाड़ी कार किसके पास है
and we're starting to see a lot of teams experiment.
साहिल जाने को बुला लेंगे छोड़ने के लिए लेने के लिए इधर उधर ड्रॉप के लिए उसके इसमें जाएंगे अब चेटी ने बैठ के ये भाई मजा आएगा भाई हार्दिक भाई के आगे कोई बोल सकता है क्या नहीं ना भाई कहाँ बोल सकते
So the comp itself shouldn't be too shocking.
भाई
चलेगा इनका टेक्निकल पॉज
अबे कल
पूरा रीस्टार्ट हो जाता है
अबे कल टेक्निकल पॉज कितनी देर चला था मालूम है क्या कल का टेक्निकल पॉज 1.5 घंटे चला था लौड़े
ऐसा क्या हुआ था
क्या पता पूरा भाई 12 पे आगे थे गेम
Or Blue Breeze.
Okay, Blue Breeze sounds nicer actually. I'm not great at giving out names. Look at what I named myself.
अभी देखते हैं इनका क्या टेक्निकल पॉज चालू हो गया लग रहा है सबके पीसी हिल रहे हैं तो चालू हो गया तो कैसे दांत निकाल रहा है करके रस खर लवड़े
हमें वो देखना अपना गुड्डा उड्डा क्या है उसमें तो साथ में
वे हो ना बावला रखा उसने
Timer runs down. It just doesn't feel.
पापा तो बोल सकते क्या पापा तो बोल सकते पापा बोल सकते
We saw it in round 3.
Yeah. I mean, absolutely. It's not like this looks like an absolute impeccable thing. It doesn't look like necessarily.
चलो चलो ये फटाफट मैं गियर इशू बोल रहा था
run everything through. So we'll have to wait and see.
अरे वो कैसा रहता उनकी बाइक थी ना उसमें गियर प्लेट थी ना वो थोड़ी खसक गई करके वैसे गियर इशू हो गया
supposedly more firepower.
अभी वो कैसा इंजन खोलेगा फिर नया ऑयल डालेगा फिर लगाएगा फिर करेगा थोड़ा टाइम लगेगा पर हो जाएगा उसका
Just want to carry through with it. So now the question is, when's the answer back? Because they often
तो जेड़ा टेक्निस हो गया भाई
reads, right? And some good mid-round as well. Talent, the new comp, the new players. How do they gel together? He's calling as an IGL now on
भाई
Talent.
क्या कर रहे हैं
Yeah, how does that respond to Jesse's?
भाई वो कुत्ता लेके बैठ भाई वो बिल्ली लेके बैठा है उसके पास में हाँ बावला लेके बैठा है वो पूछ रही का
तो बोल रहा
वो करेगा क्या बावले का बीच में ऐसा करेगा बीच में
क्या बता दे
भाई मेरे को ना मेरे को कॉपर है भाई
बाद में बात करते हैं
मैं एजुकेशन कंसल्टेंट है भाई
क्या है तू
एजुकेशनल कंसल्टेंट
ओ मुझे लगा खेल रहे कुछ आप अरे कोई बात नहीं यार आज तो थोड़ा खेलने का काम है आज थोड़ा सीधे रात को मिलेंगे पहले वाली खेलना मोस्टली आज कितने रात को क्या खेलना
स्टूडेंट को कॉल करना पड़ता स्टूडेंट को कॉल करना पड़ता है
What year? What patch are we talking about?
really want
Okay, because if we were allowed to talk about that, I would allowed to talk about the time Jeff can outfrag something in patch 4.11 or whatever.
मैं चालू गया
talents are still very much
हंटर ले लो क्या 25,000 दे रहा
and at the same time having been studying under Team Secret
कुछ ना करने से अच्छा भाई
picked up quite a bit.
ज्यादा
Well, we are
लोड
back,
नहीं है
ladies and gentlemen. Don't worry. No deja vu. We don't like to live in the past here. And
बस कभी डेटा साइंटिस्ट बनने तक के लिए जॉब चाहिए
देख रहा पिछली बार अटक गया था इधर वो साला उधर से खिड़की में जाता हमेशा
10 महीने के लिए जॉब चाहिए मेरे को बस
भाई देख रहा क्या जा रहा अंतर वो भी थूकने के लिए खड़ा है देख रहा है तू कैसे क्रॉस बनाया देख रहा है अंतर
क्या ऐसे में भी जॉब है
कोई निकालेगा भाई टीएस निकालेगा
वो 40,000 देगा बढ़िया
Governor doing God's work. Second kill going through. And that's just a right in front of Team Secret. They cannot break past B.
beautiful relay bolt. And you could just tell Jeremy wasn't quite expecting that one. Not really sure where to hold his angle because he's not going to be able to swivel on a beat, which he's very well known for. Shuts him down. And Governor now already taking mid control as well.
incentive भी मालूम है
can't find a beat.
खेल रहा है इनका नियॉन खेल रहा है
8,000 पर मंथ
नियॉन खेल रहा भाई
players left.
अगर मेरा टारगेट हुआ तो
Talent star duelist. Looking to
ओ
line up.
बढ़िया
ट्रांसलेटर सेव करके पीसी वाला लगा
वो भाई फोर के निकाला लाला
I mean, combating that wide swing as well, just the reset. Doesn't hold for the spray. Knows that it's still Jesse Vash going for the beat. Governor.
बे इको प्रैंक निकाला लौड़े बाय करके आए थे ना पुनन इको प्रैंक क्या बोल इको
चला था ना वो सोआ
बे लौड़े ये गांड है उसके पास पैसा कितना पड़ा हुआ है 1700 है उसके पास में कैसे गांड से लौड़ा वो इको पे था कुछ इको बिको नहीं था डाले बाय करके
इको था ना सोआ पिछले
बे नहीं ना भाई
एक बार बैक कर पिछ देख ले
Over 2 kills per round. So
इको लगे
4 rounds, but 0 deaths to that as well. He's taking fights and taking names away from Team Secret.
I think that's the other thing too.
ये साला बीस पिस्टल की भी स्किन पे इन पे कितना पैसा
pushed even more into B, but he just held his ground and then peeked back out towards elbow. Now on to the next.
नहीं भाई यार
बे भाई इतना अपन खेलेंगे तो कैसे
रेडियन दिमाग
Still leaves all too much soul, all too
बे
open.
भाई फोड़ के निकाल
Talent to take them down. Jit boys.
भाई निकाला रे निकाला
बहुत ही कॉन्फिडेंस से पुश कर रहा है
बे भाई उसको एक वो साले है वो नियॉन लिया उसने तो कॉन्फिडेंस तो होगा ना एकदम मेरे खेलता वो मैं भी नियॉन एजिस खेलता
हाँ भाई बिल्कुल भाई तू तेरे जैसा कोई नियॉन ही नहीं खेलता
ब्रो प्लीज एसीएस मारता मैं ना नियॉन लिया
ओके तो वही तो बोल रहा तेरे जैसा कोई नियॉन ही नहीं खेलता
तो भाई लोग बी पे हार रहे फिर भी बी पे जा रहे हर बार क्या है इनको जब तक बी निकलेगा तब तक उधर ही जाएंगे भाई कैसा कैसा कर रहे हैं
But no timeout. So clearly, Warbirds has
लड़की की
made
स्पेलिंग बता
to
बरा
figure this out in the
किसकी
server.
लड़की
मैं को बताओ तेरे को नहीं आती तो कब तू मेरे को पूछेगा क्या बे हगाबे बहुत गंदा है भाई बहुत गंदा है मैं हंटर मजाक नहीं कर रहा
Overheating a little bit too much.
मरा ये भी मरा
Can't compliment him. And it's gonna be Jesse Bash finding yet another.
भाई हगाबे
हगा वो
Open this time.
भी आओ ना
देख भाई रेडियंट वाले भी आते हैं अपन क्या
तो
चीज
है तो लवड़े तू ये मत सोचना कि तू होगा तो चलेगा गाली पड़ेगी तेरे को उसको ही पड़ेगा ये भोसड़ी के
भाई रेडियंट वाले हंसते भाई मैं क्या हो भाई
फिर उसके टीम वाले बोल रहे होंगे क्या हगा है भोसड़ी कौन बोला तेरे को उसारी चोरी के आगे जाने के लिए समझ नहीं आ रहा अपना डिफेंस अपने को होल्ड करना अपने को थोड़ी अटैक जाना आगे आगे जा रहा वहां पे चुटिया साला बहुत स्लो कर रहा बे भाई निकाल दे निकाल दे
And that reveals a little bit more. Snake bite, however.
Snake bite.
And that means Borkamaster kind of repositioned. However, timer is ticking. And given what Team Secret has, it's just a little bit more.
निकाल लिया बे भाई निकाल लिया
Oh, this guy. He's been waiting to get back to be able to play the roles an agency loves, and even here, Governor still in that primary goalless position, but playing with confidence.
ब्रीज का
Gets
पिक
some
इनका ही
frags
था
on
ना
the board.
ब्रीज इनका ही पिक था
Hello,
Pushing
Fusion.
up, playing off of his teammates' contacts. He managed just to find all those
आजा
frags.
भाई क्यों भाई
I mean, we saw him on T1 last year. He was very capable sometimes flexing off the different agents, but maybe freed up to do a little bit more on the roster.
Yeah, I mean, playing to his role strength, right? You're there to scout, but once you're on the retake, Governor down, now you're the one who's there for the trades. You're the one who wants to go in and finish the job. And now the timeout does come out.
मैंने Discord बंद किया ना मेरे को 20-25 FPS ज़्यादा
He's not liking the answers he's finding. Now that previous one, I mean, they were prepared for it. They heard the cascade, so they go for the wide peek, the double swing.
अरे वो एक मिनट का टाइम आउट लेते ना कोच अभी उनको समझा रहा होगा टीएस वाला बोले भाऊ कैसा खेल रहा है मैं समझा रहा हूँ बोले तुम्हारे को सुनो मेरी बात ऐसे लवड़े जैसा पूछ मत करो बोले आगे आगे कोने बोले जेट किधर है बोले ना स्पेस क्रिएट किया ना कुछ एक तो पहले बोले एजेंट सिलेक्शन लवड़े जैसा किया तुम्हारे को साइपर का बोको लेना था बोले
Now that it's down to 5.
भाई इनकी खुद की टोपी भी है भाई क्या बात कर रहा है इतना देख भाई टीम के पास कितना है भाई खुद की टोपी है भाई
टोपी वाले वो
ये अर्बन इनकी पहन के बैठे
diving in from Jeremy, it just doesn't quite work out. And
चलो हो गया
such
टाइम
a
खत्म हो
huge
गया
issue. Looking at how Frost is communicating with the team as well, it feels as though Talon has a trick up their sleeve, like they're anticipating something more.
Yeah, and if you ever watched Coach Frost in any of the offseason, like he will always have a lot to share. He's just ready to just pump out the information any chance he gets for the players. The question always becomes, can they digest it? But it seems like they have a lot of faith in each other for kickoff.
ये भाई ब्लाइंड हो गया भी आउट
Oh my goodness!
भाई
you get chewed right through.
Fusion join करता क्या party?
Now just a still taps away on that overdrive. It does tag up Borkum for a little second. He's down to half HP. The rest of them all pinned down and stuck inside of this cave.
I mean, if you watch the video that VCT Pacific put out, Benkai tried to tell him he's not the governor around here, but I think Talon's governor is here to stay. Governor's a pretty decent actor. That's what I found out in all these extra content. Look at the surf. Governor's shocked faces.
तुम लोग गेम खेलना गेम वाले वीसी दूसरे में जाओ ना भोसड़ी के
Yeah, not to mention the one where
इधर अभी मैं और हंटर एकदम सीरियस डिस्कशन कर रहे हैं ना हंटर नहीं है
the big brain and everything. I mean, the mastermind, excuse me.
Yeah, but so far, he's not going to need that back for his career because this is really showing it. A good call on the Outlaw buy as well. You have so many creds, but yet you want to make sure you're really snowballing the economy. You know that they don't have full buys this round.
Yeah, also just a good call. Like previous rounds, you know, Secret went B, it doesn't work out there, execute. So probably they're gonna go A, and it's a good call. It connects onto a third. Jesse Vash trying to go for the close range duel, but Governor and Lenny swapped over the shorty. You can still shoot me for days. I'm gonna take you down.
Oh, it doesn't matter if the outlaw only has 2 shots. We'll just add 2 more to the shorty. That's 4 shots always at the ready for Governor.
अरे भाई मैं बर्तन दो क्या?
It's another 2 plus 2.
भाई क्या बर्तन धोने जा रहा बॉट भाई तू छी?
That hurts. I mean,
especially for the player behind.
Yeah.
बे डबल 4 के हो गया बे इसका 2 बार 4 के निकाला गवर्नर ने.
Good shots from Governor too, and good movement from Neon at the end. I mean, if you really want to dig all the way to the micromanagement of it.
बढ़िया खेल रहा भाई, बढ़िया खेल रहा एकदम लड़का. ये जॉर्ड.
A 15.0 KD, 7 rounds into his first match at VCT Pacific.
Pretty soon building up to his next ultimate. Ban on the operator now. Jeremy opping as well. We've got the dimensional drift available. So that kind of cancels out any potential Viper's pits.
चलो
I like, tapping.
बे बॉट भाई बैकग्राउंड आ रहा बहुत ज़्यादा.
Oh no, but it allows for Jeremy to find an opening pick.
बे भाई
trade.
Yeah, Acer right back, and Jeremy was trying to get ready for it too.
बैकग्राउंड आ रहा लाउडी.
Half a step quicker.
बे बैकग्राउंड आ रहा किसी के इससे कौन है चूतिया इसके से बैकग्राउंड आ रहा है.
It's gonna be that much more difficult to push through. I mean, not unless.
कौन है किसका बैकग्राउंड आ रहा है इतना? बे लाउडी.
Yeah, it's always so rough on Breeze. If your Jet is still the main operator, if you're trying to pick that up for the attack, obviously it's a great wild card. It's a great weapon to try to get the first pick, but as soon as they get picked off or you spend too much time, you just don't have a great way to break into sight. You're right, the no command is still available for Envy. That's an option. The KOs, they've gotten aggressive before.
Oh, there it is. Flash out. Oh, but the toxic screen timing!
Yeah.
It blocks off the flash, allows for Governor to tap away, and he just finds them through that green curtain.
Yeah, by the way, no extra shots from Cruz on that because there's no assist, so it was just Governor getting Envy right through the toxic screen. He's like, my gosh.
That went a little bit too haywire. Borka managing to bring things back under Team Secret's control. They picked up the players, they picked up the spike, but here comes Ban. Oh, dimensional drift. What is this quick switch up? Back to the shorty, but then shut down by Jesse Vash, the veteran, the experienced player, and he's still here to frag. Cruz, though, tries to fight back with the op, has to reload. I don't know if it's going to be good enough. Recon just makes him think about the other angle for just a second. Over to the Vandal. Jesse Vash's reactions, not quite enough up against Cruz.
Yeah, Cruz, a good read in that very last second. Expects the possibility of Jesse Vash trying to get ahead of that cascade. He wins the 1v1, but that was a potential Jesse Vash moment there, the hero moments that we come to know from the leader of the Filipino squad. Good shots from Governor, and the decision from Ban. The quick swap over for the operator over to Cruz, immediately ults, and then just comes out of it, goes for the shorty, and if he dies, he's still there for the trade. A great decision.
Definitely makes your opponents feel a lot of pressure, because you're not expecting him to come out of the Dimensional Drift that quick.
Yeah. I mean, I've heard that this team is very vocal, all individually. I've heard that they are always ready to speak their mind. They talk about it in their own videos as well, and that can always go 2 ways, right? I mean, you could really gel, but you could all really start to get in each other's ears, and the chemistry's not there. But so far, they are in sync. This new talent roster.
Yeah, and look at these ideas too. Viper's Pit, Cruz hiding inside of it. It's a little bit risky, given the Aldro now. He tries to back out of it, but still lands a shot onto Envy anyway.
That's the problem. It wasn't the Viper. The pit's still up. But oftentimes, the Viper gets a little greedy, pushes out, you take them out, and then you think you're able to push through, but just another sentry there to get 1 kill. And Ban now, Talent's movement, Neon all the way out in A-main. They have full control of this map, and the double as well.
Full control of the fights too. Pretty soon, Governor's going to come up from behind. Jesse Vash trying to do what he can. But how much is going to be enough? Oh, Governor's just going to let them up?
Yeah, I mean, didn't spot him. And the thing is, Team Secret also doesn't know that this would have been the Neon pushing all the way out, but now they say we don't really have a choice. Yup.
There we go.
Spotted him as well.
Now it's a 3-on-1. Jesse Vash might be able to get the spike plant, but that's about it.
So he needs to hide from the operator. He needs to get the plant.
Oh, it's because it's Neon too.
Yeah, he's trying to get the first pick. He's crouching down, but it's not enough.
Look, because he was watching the angle towards the entrance of Cave. He had no idea that Governor was already onto the other side. The high gear sprint just kind of throws off the timing for a second. So 8-1. Talon has not dropped a single round since round 4.
भाई वो टाइम जब आया ना उसके बाद से तो क्या जीते वो लोग दबा दब जीत रहे एकदम आगे ना पीछे कुछ नहीं मारे खींचे भाई बॉड भाई बहुत बैकग्राउंड नॉइज आ रहा है तेरा पता नहीं क्या हो रहा क्या नहीं हो रहा तेरे घर के अंदर लेकिन बहुत ज्यादा बैकग्राउंड आ रहा है तेरे रूममेट चिल्ला रहे बोल उनको चुप रहने के लिए
So sharp in their aim, their decision making. 18-2-5. The number just keeps going up for Governor.
Man,
I mean the buck just doesn't stop.
It just keeps bucking. I gotta really think about what this could mean for the future because and still they're now suddenly dropping thanks to the pacing from Team Secret. Borkum going up on the aggressive. Jeremy trying to go up front, shut down by Cruz thanks to the recon, but then Envy on the trade. Numbers advantage has been gained.
चल फाइनली 4v1 एक राउंड आया इनका 9-3 कर्स करेंगे 9-3 कर्स करेंगे अपन देखिए चाइना में 9-3 कर्स चल रही कि नहीं चल रही तो
getting picked off right on the entry. He's able to jiggle out.
VCT
Gets the first pick in return. And that's a good answer. Maybe a little late, but if they can chain that into 4, still a solid shot on Breeze.
कितनी पिक आती होंगी इनकी बड़ भाई
Just getting an idea for Talon's game plan again. I mean, because some previous rounds, especially the first part of the map, they start to go really aggressive. Now they start to slow down a little bit. Team Secret sees that as an opening, and it works.
ना मेरे को भी लेना है एक दो बुलडॉग की.
Of course, we've got viewing parties from all around.
That's a lot of people.
Yes, that was a lot of people.
Dude?
And hopefully, of course, the teams are able to deliver on their expectations. But Secret so far, a shaky start, but they are on the attacking side again. 4 rounds. I don't think that's too bad. They have the
भाई ये वाला देखना पड़ेगा अपने को ये वाइपर का ये अच्छा लग रहा है मेरे को सेटअप अच्छा है इसके वाइपर का.
Of course, always very useful, especially against players like Governor and Ban.
और कुछ नहीं फेंका उसने अभी तक.
But right now, Talon switching things up.
बॉल बचा के रखा है.
We still got that op on both sides.
Yeah, and Secret also used an early drone to see. Oh,
that's big info.
Well, yeah, I mean, you know at least the position of 1.
Spot निकाल लिया.
So you know how to just. Oh man, nice try, Jeremy.
And all of a sudden, Lenny tucks away. Just jiggling for info outside mid, but here comes Ban to do that job instead. Lenny is relieved to go in for the Hunter's free.
चल गया. Hunter पूरी.
Backup's all here.
हंटर स्क्रीन में दोनों का नाम आता है मेरा भी और हंटर का भी ये भाई
just as good plays for the recon instead
एकरे भाई
getting a bit of a trade and then comes Governor.
भाई स्किल उठा रहे
prevails and Talon continues to win.
I mean the backup's just way too quick, and of course I think honestly Lenny's had some incredible info gathering on the side of Talon. That
बढ़िया अरे निकालो
gets some solid pings onto Envy. And Envy tries to pop flash around. He's still tagged, gets shot through the smoke. Backup already there. Governor wrapping all the way around the back of sight.
Good.
Talon's comms are good. I mean, I don't know what else to say. But all the concerns that I personally had about how does this team gonna gel in the very beginning of the year, they've thrown that right on the bin.
Looking really good, and if they can secure this first half 10-2, that would be even better.
Jeremy's alone, the reckoning.
But here comes Team Secret. Oh my god, even alone. I mean, Borkum and TG all the way from B main, they managed to gun down so many players. Going up fast is just what Talon did not expect, and all of a sudden it's down to Governor. Only an op, maybe a bit of utility, but no ultimate.
The way he's playing today, I say you hold your breath.
Okay.
Good reposition by Jesse. His back is covered by Jeremy as well.
Trying to bait out peaks with that fast lane. He doesn't have that much time. Maybe like 25 seconds left. If he wants to wrap back around to B main, that's not going to be enough.
Yeah, it's just too many with the op, but we'll see what he can do. Jeremy shuts it down.
Jump peak. That feels old. But here we go. 9-3. Still a good half nonetheless, but
9 triggers हो गया. मजा आएगा अभी देखने में.
Talon, we talked about the positives they've shown. And Team Secret, I think a big part of it is that they weren't quite sure of how to deal with Governor being so hot right off the rip. I mean, obviously in the pistol, it's just a kill through the smoke. And another time it was another kill through the smoke on A main, getting these first kills, and then the fast rotates from both the Neon and the Yoru. It seemed like they just didn't have quite an answer for that. A couple times they went for the execute. I mean, we saw it in the last round as well, but what I will say is that last round, the Reckoning comes out and they recognize if we don't just pile through right now, Jeremy's dead. He's on an island in the site, all on his own. So they go in and they say, forget getting worried about getting stunned. If we kill and move forward, we won't be in the same position for the Reckoning. So let's just plow through. And that gets them that so precious third round win.
Just trying to adapt to it because in the past, Jeremy just dives in alone. That's the entire plan. You can definitely see that there are some issues that they're trying to figure out. How Talon plays, especially now that they're going to swap over onto the attack. Warbirds looks serious.
Will it be 9 triggers?
See if Governor can do the same thing on attack. 19-4-5.
I think attack is where the Neon Fastly can provide that much more value. And on top of that, you've got Crews, you've got Jit Boys, 2 more walls to work with. So again, Governor has been our MVP for this entire match. Ben a close second, everyone else following up on it. And you're just wondering how much more they can do if they are to close out this map.
Crash out there ready to join his teammates. Takes out the cam, and that's what the Euro can do, right? You can really start to toy with the Cypher setups, usually on the B side. Put the pressure. That draws out at least one more member, right? Cypher not as safe, can't get as much info without either one trip, one spy cam, things like that.
I like Jeremy's position though. Just watching in case anyone does peek out or if he wants to try to find Van. A little bit faster and then Ben rendezvous with his team. Setting up for that E execute now. They think they've managed to buy enough time away from B site. If they can pinch down onto Envy, that would be great. But look at Envy, 180-degree flick, and he gets Governor 2 kills. A bit of a trade, and then Jesse finds one more. Borkum, however, feeling the pressure, has to back off, tries to find a better position. Close range duel with the Classic, tries to right-click. But you know what? It doesn't even matter because only Lenny is left. And with the IGL not able to frag out, it's going to be Team Secret picking up the pistol in the second half.
These are the clips we remember from 23, Envy.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, it's just the 180 headshot as well. Lets the Neon pass, then walks out on a timing through fast lane. Good mind games around the Neon.
So controlled. I mean, like, oh yeah, throw all your utility at me. I'm not bothered by it whatsoever.
Oh,
nice. Jesse finding shots too all the way from the back of bridge. That's what you need from Team Secret. Now they've got the outlaw in the hands of Jeremy, and they can definitely dish out more damage.
Yeah, that's one of the big questions a lot of us had is Jeremy, he has to now play primary duelist, he has to play primary offer, and of course the outlaw and things like that. See if it comes to fruition, but not on the A side just yet. We'll have to give up the plan. Oh, sees him.
Snake bite, stinger combo, spike dropped, and the rest of Talon scrambling for safety. Playing around the toxic screens too, though, it just gives up a lot more space, and with some blind shots being fired through, Jeremy finds one. Borkum not able to do all too much, but it's just a setup for Jeremy to find a little bit more. Envy coming up from behind too, and that's Talon just burned to a crisp.
I'm telling you, it's far from over. Obviously, they're able to carry over the 4 weapons that they did purchase into the bonus. Now, not all the greatest, but you got to remember, again, this is a different comp. They've got the Cypher. They can really try to anchor around the site, work around the trips and the cyber cages, things like that on one side. Then you've got the Outlaw potentially on the other. A bit of a mishap there with the spike showing through, of course, the smoke. But at the end of the day, I don't know if it would have made a grand difference in the scheme of things.
Oh, good.
Yeah, it just came down to the buy still, and Team Secret knowing how to play so far back.
Yes.
The onus is on Talon to really push up, and it's a little bit more difficult for them to do so. Given
Bye hey Governor bhai chalo 10 kill.
On to the next round.
30 bomb drop kar dega apne ko.
Team Secret's got to watch out. Talon's got to watch out for Jeremy still.
Aggressive push out from mid. He's just going to try to stick around. No contact.
Ooh. Okay, good recon from Jesse Vash as well.
Yeah, but this, I mean, Jesse Vash simply trying to let them know, like, if you want to come into B, you're going to have to use a lot more utility. And if they're not able to find the Cypher utility off of that, obviously it gets a lot tough. So Jesse Vash with a great read that this is going to funnel them into A. It's a bit of a gamble, but one that might pay off.
Yeah, it's going to cost you. If not, we're just going for that 4-on-5 retake. But we're also banking on the fact that NDG can anchor. That's something that Acer said.
Envy holding close as well. Oh, no!
Wow.
Doesn't look like the first shot quite connecting. Not able to finish the kill, but the Spectre's here. The decoy!
Still manages to burn down Bad.
Oh,
but just trying to go full auto with all of these weapons, it's not quite enough. The close range duels, somehow Talon losing out in terms of numbers advantage. Still though, trying to go back to a little bit more safety. Lenny just holds out and swaps over to the high angle, gets down Jeremy. Wow, through the toxic screen though. Jesse Vash with the Sheriff still able to fire off shots.
Yeah, caught one glimpse of a Spectre, not the weapon you would want in a situation like this, but already damage done. One more kill and even the entire round possible, but no. Cruz watching from double doors will barely save the round for Talon, carrying over 2 rifles.
10 5 हो गया
anchor, but can you
निकालो रे भाई एक वाला बैच अच्छा वाला निकालो तुम
So it
फटाफट
is what it is, but Team Secret managed to put up a bit of a fight. Talon on the other hand though still
ऐसा निकलेगा भाई ये तो
I think Lenny getting those 2 kills and as well
stretch किया हुआ है इसके मेरे को समझ नहीं आ रहा है stretch
just fighting with all that force and you can hear those communications again. It keeps the team alive, it keeps spirits up, and look at this, Governor up to 20 kills now.
Slow creeping up, not as quickly as we saw in the very beginning of the map, but obviously a lot more work to do on the attacking side. A bit of a mishap on the flash there as well.
He tried to make the movement work though, but Borkum just managing to react that quickly. Another shot coming in from Jeremy as well, and all of a sudden Talon has to reconsider this entire round.
No, they'll spot at least one on halls, so Jesse Vash, no
इसको तो spot कर लिया है, अभी देखते हैं क्या होता है आगे.
You have control of double doors, you have control of sight.
Can we do?
Trapped in the halls, it's not the worst scenario.
निकाल सकते हैं 3 भी भाई तो निकल तो सकता है. बाय है तीनों पे, अपोनेंट पे भी बाय तो है ही है 5-5 में.
Either lurk or push up front. They're thinking about making use of the shoot into mid. It's not quite going to happen.
भाई ये सब चाले शॉक डार्ट देखो कैसे कैसे जा रहे हैं उनके सीधे
You already showed one person up in halls. You send the shock dart to let them know that we're still thinking about taking over the space. And you just say if we can keep that occupied, we should have a shot, but no, it's going to be a save. I mean, they don't have any explosive entry into the site, and of course the Cypher most likely anchoring on B.
Yeah, 30 seconds, and look at the setup on B too. I don't think B is a site that they've explored all too much, so there are some unknown variables. They don't know exactly where the cam is. So there's really a lot to consider, because remember a couple rounds ago we saw Jesse Vash just playing up around tunnel, around elbow a little bit. So they're still thinking that Team Secret setup might be 2 on B, 3 on A. So we don't want to toy with that too much.
Yeah, you don't have the KO either, right? No way to just shut down that utility. So you have to really use everything you got, start to scout it out. And as you mentioned, haven't spent too many rounds figuring out NDG's preferred default setups. But if anyone's going to do it, it's got to be ban on that Yoru. Got it during the pistol round.
Yeah, if not ban, it's got to be Lenny with the shock darts. Again, information first. So back to the drawing board for Talon now as Team Secret starts to catch up. Jesse Vash kind of catching up in terms of kills too.
Very aggressive shark dart into elbow. And Jesse's making the same call again, right? Just let them know that we are looking at elbow a bit heavy, and then let's try to reposition ourselves, shift the weight a little bit. But I think he correctly recognized the situation here. No solid info that they're working off of, so just a 2-on-2 default.
Swapped over with Jeremy too. NDG good to anchor, just as Acer said.
Crash
past the cyber case, but now suddenly pushing into it, punished by Cruz. Get Crash allows Ben to sneak and infiltrate onto site, just as you mentioned, Will. And apart from that, look at what's happening on the map. He gets out. Jit Boys still holding up around elbow in case anyone crosses over from mid. Cruz, as long as he stays alive up over by Pillar, he uses his utility. He's still got the Reckoning available. There's so much that Talon has invested into this round.
Oh, no.
Another shot. Jesse Vash out in the open. Borkum revealed by Ban. And that's
चलो 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 2 more फटाफट मैच निकालो खत्म करो 9 3 कर ऐसा कुछ नहीं होता मेहनत कर रहा हूं
ready to go, but Cruz just gets him right before he's able to
9 3
set
कर
up the
चुका
rest
भाई
of his teammates. Obviously, the distance from each other, not exactly the ideal, but this gate crash was brilliant. Ban gate crashes into the site, so NDG has to wait, but then Cruz holds before pushing out of the cyber cage, as they know that he now has to pick and choose the 50-50 between the Euro and the decoy. And then they just pinch onto him. During all that, Ban's able to still get the first kill on site as well. And now, because they have that successful B execute, I mean, Team Secret, they can't really rest on their laurels on any part of the map.
Yeah, just trying to change up everything now.
नियॉन को क्यों बाय दिया हुआ
NDG
नियॉन बाय
set up
नियॉन
on
प्लांट
towards
करने
B
वाला
side
है
as
अच्छा
well.
उसका
Jeremy
एबिलिटी हल्का
trying
है
to explore mid a little bit.
Okay,
Maybe
I got it,
pull off
dude.
something cheeky. But
B
again,
पूरा
this
खाली
high
छोड़
tide
देगा
just makes him question a lot. But guess what? Talon's actually corralled up towards B instead. Just watching elbow.
A good read, you have to imagine on what the
भाई
potential is for
एंगल तो
Team
देखो
Secret,
कैसे
right?
कैसे
Because
एंगल लेके बैठ रहे भाई
because they just
आराम
pressured
आराम
B successfully as well. Talon's read is that Team Secret has to push out to get info.
Apart from that too, I mean, that's what they're playing off of. Now they want to get their own info past enough time. Dimensional Drift does clear out a lot, so NDG has no choice but to relinquish the site.
Relay boats corralling him.
बढ़िया
Comboed with Ban and the dimensional crash. It gets out onto another one.
Nice,
Jesse Vash
nice.
making a trade happen, so not impossible for Team Secret to come back.
Jeremy on the flank, but so is Lenny. Now this cuts the timer for
my
Lenny quite
God.
short, but I don't think they're aware at all. So if Jit Boys can stay alive alongside Governor, this is huge.
Here
Gets
comes
one.
Lenny,
बढ़िया.
all right. Managed to pull attention away. Envy turns back around. Toxic Screen back up, and Jit Boy still trying to keep things alive. Governor and Envy, though, suddenly pitched down. And with that, the spike available. They knew where Lenny was. They knew where he was
दो
about to
राउंड
show
निकालने
up.
में इतनी
And
तकलीफ होगी
Envy
तो कैसा
collects
चलेगा
another
फटाफट
round for
फटाफट
Team
खत्म करो यार
Secret.
इनको दूसरा लगाओ दूसरा
Team
मैच ताजा बैठ
Secret
रहा है
immediately ups the tempo as soon as they recognize that Lenny gets the first kill on the flank. Instead of trying to say, well, one person watch for Lenny, and the rest of us will go in and go for 1v1s, they just say, well, he's still pretty far out. He would have to walk all the way up to Arches to be able to combat us and provide backup. So let's just push in and win these fights. And Jeremy's lurk,
निकालेंगे लाला निकालेंगे डरे हैं जिम करे हैं
Cruz, they see each other in mid, and Jeremy just follows all the way. Good
भाई
call.
टीम देखो कैसे पढ़ते हैं
Kind of just like
भाई
forgetting for a second that although,
किताब
yes, they might have been
निकाल लेंगे भाई निकाल लेंगे
pushing
डरे
out
हैं क्या
on defense, Team Secret, to get
क्या
more
पता
info.
अच्छा सही एक राउंड आ
They could
जाएगा
also
तब
put
मैच आ जाए
themselves in
बढ़िया
deep
से एकदम
positions to lurk like what Jeremy did.
देखते हैं
And that gives them to that 7-11. Talon now calling their first timeout, trying to collect on those last 2 rounds.
कोच क्या क्या बोल
Talon,
रहे
they seem to have the number, especially in the first half, but the attacking side, I like the attempted hit onto B, that success that brought them their 11th round win, but not quite as much control around the map just yet. I mean, on defense, they were running amok. They held mid, they held pillar, they held both sides, they held A main. Sometimes they pushed out a B main, get that early pick.
Right here.
But on attack, I mean, first of all,
Time
not
out,
too many
time out.
answers about pressuring mid, right? And this is allowing Team Secret to just say,
फटाफट लो
all
रे
right, pressure one side, go back to 2-on-2 default, and then shift the weight over on a timer.
Haven't really gone through mid. Haven't really, played much around halls either. They did think about that halls play with that 3-on-5 round where they lost 2 players really early on.
सब शॉट डर जाता है किधर देखना
Well, this is going to be finally the Yoru trying to shake up the utility from Cypher as Jeremy gets the first kill.
निकाला निकाला
NDG was ready for this too. I mean, Ban got
चलेगा
pinged by the cam, so he has to slow down. He can't just go in, wreck the setup, and then gate crash out.
That far out, he still gets a shot onto Lenny. So you just lost a little bit of info gathering. Now we're starting to creep up instead.
Well, two-pronged attack. So they've always got a backup plan.
Okay, all the way up and through halls. Jesse Vash is right on the other end. Gets the information. Jeremy still staying tucked away and hidden.
So Talon seems to have heard and or seen Jesse Vash on the rotate back over to A. Now, the recon just comes out, so they're both stuck in their own position. But the real question is can they break into B? Because otherwise, Jeremy's just holding mid. And Talon doesn't have proof that Jeremy's here.
Oh.
Not even a guess, it looks like.
I thought they might have had an idea, but guess not. And with that now, Team Secret very much in control over the map. Van trying to fight back, but not for long. 5 HP. His teammate and the spike dropped. The round is over. I guess he's going for that save. 15 seconds left.
Yeah, I mean, only 5 HP, and your econ's not exactly even across the board. And we've been trading rounds back and forth, so not quite at the maximum loss streak bonus. Talon carrying one Vandal over, losing a lot of steam. And this one, it could have very well looked different had Lenny been alive, right? They could have pressured a lot more with the Sylvia utility, but now Jeremy seems a bit more warmed up, a bit more confident, digging deep to really cut up the forces from Talon Esports.
That's what we need to see them do, especially on this defensive side. If they can repeat that formula, it's going to be that much more difficult for Talon. NDG going back to the slightly different setup still, but heavily anchoring on the B side. The game plan is swapped back up to what we saw just a few rounds ago. A solo NDG on B.
Yeah, but this is a retake from Team Secret. And they get the ping onto pretty much everybody, if not literally everybody, on the side of Talon. So backups now arrived as well. I mean, Talon, yeah, you have to reset at the very least.
Yeah, retake setup too. Talon has to reconsider their options, but given the time passed, they never quite know who might be on the other side. And it's going to be Jeremy with an operator.
They suspect something.
1 pixel is all it takes. Shot hasn't been fired off. Oh, the movement of Governor. A sudden, he jumped over and carried the momentum through. Jeremy repeats though. Is that good? The Cascade pushes him away, and Governor wants to pressure him. Oh, the Blade Storm. Right click, and then Lenny with the shorty. Ben is here to assist as well. So although Governor dies, it's enough space for Talon to potentially take the site. High Tide blocks off so much vision.
Post plant, not bad. You can even go for a rotate, even the pit to make sure. I mean, this is going up to match point for Talon.
Wow, and all they got to do is up around the edges of this Viper's pit.
I mean, Secret wants to attempt this so badly, but it just looks nigh impossible.
So many layers of safety. Cruz dies. We still got Jit Boys. We still got Ben and Lenny on the other side of Cave. So it's the call for Envy to save instead.
Yeah, looking at their creds, I don't mind that they attempted to go into the pit. I mean, you just don't want to give over map point. And you still had another flash drive, a 0 point. You know, you get the first cheeky pick. Sure, there's a world. There's a world where a story could be told, but not in that one. And Talon goes up to map point. Lost a lot of steam in the second half, but it was only a couple steps up to here.
Yeah, picked it up again. I mean, again, it might just also be Breeze on defense, and, you know, you got to figure out those openings. And especially with Talon, I mean, Team Secret now starting to peek out a little bit more. They had to adapt. And adapt they did.
Yes, this should do. Well, this is, it's actually giving me a bit of a nightmare flashback to when DRX just couldn't figure out how to attack on Breeze on an international stage. And a lot of it comes down to they keep tabs on the actual setup, and they're just trying to combat the setup itself on a site.
Nice.
Man. Great opening kill, takes out the operator from the opposing side.
Don't just combat the setup, right? Combat the players.
Well, okay, sure, yes, combat the players as well. But what I'm trying to say is you want to work the map, right? If you're just saying, okay, well, they hide in this cubby, they have this strip, let's go in and break it and break it and break it, you still, at the end of the day, have to not only win the fights, but they make one micro adjustment, one change in timing, and it throws the entire thing off. Now, I would say Talon, a bit more flexibility here in the second half. Also, they didn't need to win as many rounds, but this time, Van's operator is the one who really shakes things up.
The decoy as well makes Borkum feel a little bit uneasy.
I'm out of here.
And then the fast lane, they think it's going to be an A hit, but look at where the spike's headed towards.
Yeah, the nail in the coffin pretty much. Now, a pretty early call from Team Secret. They recognize this as they don't hear any more footsteps, but whoa, Governor flying high onto the boxes.
आ गया चलो
1v5.
What a great debut
बढ़िया.
on the Neon, and
Nice
just
one.
poised to end it all. As
Easy.
he hopped around for his teammate to pick up the kill. 13-8. This first map goes to Talon.
A huge showing from Governor. Obviously,
बढ़िया.
ex-teammates with Rossi
Good
from
one.
T1, 2 members coming over from Turtle Troop from the challenger scene in North America. And they're here to say that talent is not lacking on the other side of the globe. A great debut for Governor, but it is a best of 3. I think a lot of us perhaps expected a bit more from Team Secret in terms of the mid-rounding, the adjustment, the synergy even, but just not able to do that.
Yeah, and I guess we're going to leave the rest for our analysts to pick up because, wow, what a match to break down.
निकल गया चलो एक तो ठीक है अभी देखते क्या है क्या ले
Showing what they're
11
made of
10
on Breeze. Governor on the Outlaw. Absolutely insane. It was like that content piece he did with the Outlaw. He definitely is a Neon player as well.
Yeah, I mean, he's had plenty of experience on the Neon, but this was still a bit of a different flavor. Like we said, a bit of a mashup from the comps that we saw yesterday on Breeze. They come out here with that Neon alongside the Yoru, and I mean, it was Governor and Ban shining through, and this is really strong when you have 2 players that are also very well versed with that operator, which is snipers in general in their hands. We saw Ban picking up some kills there on the back end with that op. Just a very fearsome double duelist setup that Talon has right now.
Yeah, when you look at the compositions, right, from the start of this entire game, you, especially with Talon's comp, it's very specialized, and you immediately see the big weakness that Talon needs. A lot of contact, a lot of aggressive contact, and we're so good at that. And what TS needed to do was to try to counteract that when they were on the attacking side, which means that a lot of the pressure relied on Jeremy being able to find openings into the site. Unfortunately, you saw he was just dashing in, getting caught, getting punished by Governor, and then everyone else from Team Secret was just walking up, dying to or taking extra damage from the Viper utility, and then Governor's just there to say 3 kills for me, and then it just kind of happened over and over again until we ended like a 9-3 in the first half.
Yeah, just fairly brutal here. I mean, Team Secret, granted, this isn't a map that they're the most proficient on. Obviously, with the Ascent coming up, it would be that. And then Haven, which is out of the pool. So I think there's still certainly an opportunity for them to rally back in this series. I don't think it's necessarily done yet, but I mean, if Governor is going to be playing like that, playing like this with the sniper coming into his hands, then Ascent is still a very scary prospect because you can very easily just flip over onto that jet. Hell, you can even have Ban play the jet, Governor play something else going into Ascent if it's not a double duelist setup. But if Talon continue to cook, if they continue to have some unique looks as far as their strategies are concerned on certain maps, maybe they have something different for Ascent as well.
Now, what kind of improvements do we want to see from Team Secret? Jeremy was on the jet there, but I think there were some critical moments that he missed. And what's gonna take for Secret to step up going into Ascent?
The thing is, I think Secret before already had some really good entry setups, and that's why I think they were so feared, you know, when they had those good days back in 2023 for Pacific League. But this time it just feels like they're letting Jeremy do everything by himself. We don't see the follow-up, the kind of back and forth he has with Jesse Bash, no support utility for Borgum. It's just the standard setups that you kind of see with these kind of agent pickups, and that's not going to be enough against Talon. So they, at least in terms of improvement, they really need to have that support system for Jeremy. He can't just be alone when he's going to be having to go up against a possible double duelist in the form of Ban and Governor.
Yeah, I mean, also when he's going into these sites, I mean, we see 4 first kills, 4 first deaths for Jeremy. It's very much the same for Governor on the opposite side, but when you have that secondary, not initiator, but secondary duelist there in Ban, you're able to capitalize a lot more if Governor does go down, and more often than not, especially that first half, Governor was entering and no one was able to stop him at all. Jeremy, when he's getting traded, it's that trade back hasn't really been there in a lot of these rounds from Team Secret. We see him going out, trying to get a line with an operator. He ends up getting picked off. But also just some of these shots that he absolutely should have when he set up over there in A main, staring down over towards the defender spawn. Governor swings that corner. Jeremy should have that shot pretty much 100% of the time, but the whiff comes in, they manage to hound him down, and then they close out the map from there.
निकाल तो लिया तो एक चीज है दो एक और दूसरा मैच अपना कौन सा था
Jeremy look improved when it comes down to the make it better than we've seen in the past? Yes, I would say that he has, but I don't think it's at that top level right now. And there are so many great offers in this league that you're going to have to contend with at some point.
I'm really liking this iteration of Talon, whatever it is. The crew's also very different kind of energy this year. You watched him on the cam, on the player cam. He just looks cool as a cucumber throughout the entire match. Yes, very zen. Not overly, no overheating happening on, at least on his side. When they got like 6-7 consecutive in a row.
And that's what they kind of want from an IGL, right? You were talking about how in the green room, wow, it looks like they were overheating a little bit, you know, chasing the kills, both Ban and Governor. If they have somebody like Cruz to reel them back in, it's perfect for this Thai team roster.
Yeah, I mean, having sat down with these guys and talked to them, like they were so excited to finally just have their match, get out on stage. They wanted to debut their composition, you know, finally play against the other teams that are in this league. Because again, everybody has been hiding strategies away from one another. No one against each other, maybe barring a couple exceptions. But widely, they've been keeping everything locked away, just hiding it from the opponent's eyes. They wanted to put it out on display, and they finally have done that. And I think that did towards them getting a bit overzealous, having a bit too much fun. Like we said, chasing in for those kills. There's a couple times where Governor was very clearly just trying to pad the stats, and he ended up cutting down his ACS a little bit there. But as long as Frost in this downtime, as they get ready to go into map 2, if you can bring them in a little bit more, if they have that kind of hot start, then I think that they're going to still be in a really strong position. Team Secret, right now it's more about, okay, you had a slight warm-up in the second half, you started getting the gears shifting in the right direction. Can you carry that momentum forward going into your map of Ascent, start off on like we saw from the side of Talon, and just take that early lead and run away with it and take us to map 3?
While, you know, we're saying that a lot of the teams have been hiding a lot of their game plan for the season this year, so we haven't seen a lot of that, especially Talon, especially teams that have a lot of changes. But with Ascent and with Team Secret, we have a lot of data to go off of.
Yeah, absolutely. Again, Team Secret has gotten probably their most successful games on the Ascent map, probably because every single time that they played it, it's always the same composition over and over again. It's the double initiator with the Sova and the KO, and so on and so forth. You get yourself the Jet and everything. But, I mean, at this point, they might just have to think about Talon might have a different approach in this one, kind of change the status quo, and Team Secret might not be aware of this. But what is going to be at least better right now, at least compared to Breeze, analyzing a little bit, NDG and Envy, the two most recent pickups for Team Secret, weren't really given a chance to do anything on that first half because it feels like they had to always follow up on Jeremy, and they kind of get punished every single time. On the second half, when they were on defense, you saw that they had more chances to do so. Ascent as a map, whether it's attacking or defending, allows you to have those more individualistic plays. So I feel like they have a lot more opportunity now to influence the game compared to this first map, but still is to be seen.
I'm just curious, you know, as well for Secret, do they have something up their sleeve? There is plenty of tape of them on how they like to play this map. So either there needs to be a big compositional difference as far as what agents they're selecting, or a really big change in the pace, the setups that they have as they go to attack these sites. Because again, with Talon, you don't know what to expect with these 5 players because the slate has been wiped clean. For Team Secret, if it's mostly just going to be, okay, we're going for Ascent because historically we've been very good at this, then Talon can be the ones who are hyper-analyzing. They can sit down and just really review how you've played this across the last several years and then break it down and really find your weaknesses.
That's right, and on top of that, the coaches from both sides have been made very clear how well they know each other, and they are definitely trying to, you know, break down each other's mental and get into the mind games of what they may or may not do, and that is definitely a lot of fun between Frost and Warbirds.
And again, it just puts that much more pressure on Warbirds because he is the one that's working with a much more known quantity here, so he has a lot more onus on him that he has to try to really reinvent this team as far as what they're going to be doing. And we'll go ahead and take a look, and well, look at that. It's good old Ascent.
They do not change the status quo, so it's going to be about how the approach will be. I will say this though, at least looking back at Jeremy's performance, not the entry fragging anymore, his lurking on the second half, he was actually pretty successful at creating those 1v1 duels that favor him. So maybe he was able to isolate a couple of fights, or he builds
Hey,
up on
agent
that
pick आ गए
confidence of his,
ओमन आ
making it into
गया
the kills, following the footsteps
ओमन
of
के जे
Governor.
सोआ
That really is something that
के
is going to be so
और
beneficial here for
जेट
Team
सेम है बे अपन
Secret.
का भी
It really just goes back
तो
on
मिरर लाइनअप है भाई
having to have
नोबड़े ने
a
एस मार
very
दिया
reliable duelist.
तो
And
बॉर्डर में
Jeremy,
मिरर
even
लाइनअप
though
पे
he's
खेल रहे भाई
got
पोट्टे
top frag for Team Secret, it
कोई
wasn't
एक
the
ऐसा
top
नहीं
frag
कोई
they
अलग है
were
कोई अलग है
hoping for
मिरर
to
लाइनअप
get
पे खेल
that
रहे भाई
game.
उन्होंने
Yeah, I mean, in comparison, just that impact wasn't quite there.
मजा
as
आएगा
much as it
ये
was
मैच
for
देखने
Talon.
में भाई एसेंट
All
है
right,
एसेंट
let's
पे
go
अल्लाह की तरह की
into
होगी
our
भाई
second map
और
of
अपन भी
Ascent.
विचरी
We
के
got
लिए
Team Secret versus
हाँ
Talon.
खेल
Are
लो
we
तो
going to
उसमें क्या
go
तकलीफ
to
है
a
जले
map
जाते कोई
3 or
दिक्कत नहीं
does it stop here on Ascent?
कब निकलना है
Yes. I guess that is the question, right, Shovey Ninja, Acer, Achilles. I mean, it's going to be Ascent. We've seen this so many times. It's the exact same composition for both sides. What do we think, Will?
Well, there was a part of me that hoped. You know, we saw the Neon and Yoru on Breeze, and I saw, all right, Talon's cooking. And they said, even Ascent can't be cooked anymore. It is perfect. We got to just let the steak rest forever, as it is just the same old composition. But, I mean, even whether it's the shots, the confidence, maybe even the comms, the backup, I mean, everything Talon looked better in map 1. Now TS back in comfort zone. Isn't enough to change it up. Waiting for a mid push out. I mean, you know, these days Ascent is really just kind of this rock, paper, scissors among teams, right? Everyone knows each other's plays books. Everyone's reading from each other.
Well,
GG.
might not know too much about what Talon might do, though. Pushing out the B main that way. Not quite finding the shots, now re-peeking into it. Governor still with that share, trying to make it work.
Man.
Managing to take down NDG now.
NDG just wanted one piece of the action. He can't land enough shots to get the assist there, and Jeremy just cleans it up, but not quite safe in the sight. Chip boys.
And that's a good enough pickup that it gives them numbers advantage, even though Governor is pretty low. Spike play goes down, and at this point, just a clean retake is all it needs.
Oh, the turret. Just doing a little extra chip damage. Everything counts here in a pistol round.
Oh,
अबे यार 80
Oh, the ping!
Sported out.
Yeah. He was ready for it. He was crouched.
यार 80 no way.
Can't find that shot either. Oof. Listen, I mean, I was one of those people that was hoping that Jeremy would come in this year and fire right off the bat because, I mean, he kind of needs to, for himself, he needs to find that confidence on the stage. We've seen peak moments from the young player on Team Secret. But the operator looked a little rough and shaky on Breeze and not finding it just yet in the pistol. But still many rounds to go on Ascent.
Yeah, Lenny jumping back into heaven was definitely throwing him off a little bit. Now we've got the setup from Talon, though, and it makes you wonder, are they going to push out again?
Well, with these weapons, surely not. Although maybe inching forward on main, they do have the Ares, they have the Paranoia, lots of setup.
Governor. Paranoia to support.
Okay, seems like Talon did have a discussion about greeting and overheating for stats. Obviously, just a second round. Waiting for his kill. Backed up, and they know that there's still members here. Talon has no reason to give the entire area for free, and even if they do, turret and nanoswarms there to just chip away at every member.
And at the same time, just wanting to make sure they don't give away too many weapons. Jin boys, there we go, nanoswarms available. However, the 0 point does connect.
Yeah, and they were also all pretty much through, right? A little bit of scratches here and there. Actually, Envy taking a bit more than I thought he would have. Smoke gives it away, but at least they get the spike plant.
So it's
a good enough win for Team Secret. Now, can Talon make this a flawless win? Surely not quick enough. The rest of them trying to wallbang through. We do have an Ares, so might as well try to make it happen. But here comes NDG. A good shot from the back of Boathouse, but Governor is just that much sharper as well. Guardian. And then Lenny with a ghost. Why not? 4 out of 5 weapons saved. Yeah, that's pretty good.
Good shots from Governor. He's continuing to put up highlights for Talon, putting them back on the board, putting them back in discussion for VCT Pacific. We'll see if he can continue. You know, the Desk talked about a little bit of overheating towards the end, trying to pad those stats. But, I mean, with these kind of performances, as long as it ends on a happy note, I don't know if you can blame him too much. At least for today, he's riding that momentum. And this is a player that came in and just started confidently talking before even playing one official in Pacific, right? Said he thinks he can fight everybody here. He's been very outspoken in all of their videos so far, building up to kickoff. And now he's here to back up the talk.
Got that confidence. 5 kills already in round 2. 1 point away from the Blade Storm. Not much the same can be said for They are trying to attack though, so we'll give them that. But Governor continues to wreak havoc outside of B main. And he's not expecting that. Into a site.
It's going to be a smoke to try to block off main, but they do know that it should be a split here.
Ooh, okay, Jeremy got the movement. Tries to bypass the space. It does allow them into the site, although the wall bangs from Lenny are just firing off. At the very least, we've got the site.
I wonder if it's going to be at least one person going for the long wraparound. Doesn't look like it, so just a two-way retake coming in through tree.
Well, Vash might be the one wrapping around instead. Has to make it quick enough, though. The rest of the team has to stay alive enough. But here comes Governor. Blade Storm available. He goes up at the ready.
Oh, man.
3rd kill under his belt. Now he's looking for the last. Doesn't quite get up to Jesse Vash, but it's enough for Ben to stick the spike. Gets up almost at the half, but just not quite secure enough to take down Jesse Vash.
Round 3 is not the round you want to overheat on for kills. I mean, listen, quite frankly, he was definitely feeling the momentum. His movement was good. On to the retake. It would have been the highlight for this match for sure if they end up winning the entire thing, but it gives just enough room for Jesse Vash. This is why Team Secret was always getting so close last year. Even if they had a rough match, even if they have rough rounds, they have these players who are able to just kind of calm things down and stop the bleeding, buy them enough time to regroup. That is the threat for Team Secret. And it might not seem like much, but it is just enough.
Yeah, they've played enough games to know, like, calm down, it's all good. I can still bring things back. And now with that 2-1 score, we're looking to turn it to a 2-2, hopefully. Lenny has an Odin, though.
Yeah, very desperate, too, because while, yeah, it was a clutch, that's not what you want to see on the 3rd round on your bye round.
Wow, quick, simple execute. Paranoia out as well. Cruz trying to hold things back. A little bit off on the Shrouded Step play, but still able to cut him down regardless. Jesse Vash with Hunter's Fury in as well. Now the rest of them with that Odin almost trying to connect, but Envy manages to stay alive. Now options available are just Heaven. Not quite so much door, but they have no idea that NDG is right around that spot.
I mean, with the type of util they have available, yeah, I'm not surprised it's safe. Sure, you got the recon on the drone, but you would need to use it a bit further back if you don't want to get spammed out, as Lenny's pretty low. And then you would have needed to jump right on it. No flashes as well. No information on tree, like you mentioned. And NDG was there, so good positioning by NDG. Very quick on that backup, should the retake have come through. Secret looking a bit more alive on one of their favorite maps from 2023.
That much reversed. The executes are fast, they're decisive, they're impactful. Meanwhile, for Talon, it does feel as though some of this carries over from the previous map on Breeze. When the pace gets switched up against them, and when it's a rush coming out from Team Secret, they can't really hold it down all too well sometimes.
Yeah, and this is actually why Team Secret had such a good win rate, right? If you think back, this was another team that used to just say, okay, once we figure out where they're weaker, we just keep going.
Oh, right?
Yeah, don't fix what's not broke. The same thing happened on Haven, of course, a couple of times, especially against teams like DRX. Happened on Ascent, and they just know that if you're going to still go for defaults, we will always have the numbers advantage. Let's see if that continues to be the trend today.
Right here.
I mean, again, we keep talking about one of the teams that made the least changes coming into 2024, so you imagine the calling, the philosophy, the speed, everything should be similar.
Well, they are switching up the pace just for now.
A good round to take some mid-control, put some pressure, see if you can get sight of those alarm bots. Not going to dig deep enough, but he has no idea that there's so many members wrapping all the way around him. From short, they don't peek out all the way.
Still trying to find that opening pick, though. Just trying to push through a little bit, but then smoked off immediately by Cruz. Talon controlling the map for the time being.
I mean, great save. Oh, I was going to say earlier from Jesse Vash to keep Jeremy alive, but Governor will find a kill nonetheless, this time on main.
Take flight.
And with that now, just might be able to prevent Team Secret from smoking things off. Lenny, sensing that the hit is headed towards B, sends out the recon. And then everyone's ready to fire and let it rip. Jit boys. Triple kill back to back. Governor getting the last one onto Jeremy. Everything lines up for Talon.
Great hold. The recon at an angle where you'd have to get pinged to clear it out. And then you have someone still holding close. A bit of an off angle with that Vandal. Not holding close to the wall. Not holding far out with an Odin. Try to go for a peek, but good reset after the first kill for Jit Boys. And he was one of the members that we all thought last year showed so much consistency, so much just good value for talent to build upon. It's great to see him return in form.
Get out of my way.
Especially on this Sentinel role. On this map too, he had some great moments. Still though, Team Secret very much in the game. Jeremy with the Blade Storm. Let's see if he can make some magic work. They're headed towards A with another A split, setting up for that execute.
Spots one. Oh, didn't see him on the minimap, so his teammates get the trade, but gets stuck on the door.
A little bit unfortunate, but here comes the Shrouded Step. The decoy play for Envy to peek out, but it's just a trade. 3-on-3 now, and although there is space for Team Secret, it's still a little bit risky to get the spike down. Okay, they managed to make it happen. No wall banks just yet. We also have NDG just kind of lurking around mid, so that's the idea now.
NDG is the big one. The timing is going to be so crucial because Jeremy suspects it, but NDG just needs to be patient. His teammates are still alive. He doesn't need to be the one that gets first contact. Oh no.
Peeked out a little bit too early. Now Envy might have some utility, but he's just pinched down. Recon in, has to make his shots ring true. Lenny just sprays it down to Odin. And that's Talon.
I mean, I held my breath on that one. Envy's had some nutty highlights last year. So there was a possibility, but it's always, those are things that look like miracles. And so far, Talon still looking like a team that's just put together a bit more, which is the crazy part. An entirely new roster, right? Only 2 members, so not exactly a core moving on from last year.
Yeah, I mean, we've seen a lot of performances from Governor, and now a little bit more from Jit Boys. I'm telling you, don't doubt Lenny. And now he's got this Odin. There was no way that Envy could have made it out of that one, especially if Lenny's just spraying as he falls down. On to the next round, though. Again, Talon switching out their positions. A little bit more thin stack on A, but reading things wrong. It's going to be Team Secret that's enabled it to be.
Yeah, well, of course, the null command on the other side, and they have their own lockdown. So this is a read for read.
Retake.
Yeah, now their own null command coming out first. I like it. Denies the potential response from Envy.
Have a smoke. Yeah, there it is for B main. Governor gets an opening shot. 2 players isolated on the other side, and it allows for Governor to swing up on towards B, and then Cruz just to decimate anyone hiding inside of B main. Talon makes it a quick round, a flawless round, and a retake.
I mean, forget the frags itself. Lenny's calling has been very solid on the defensive side of both maps. I mean, this one, it's one of those very standard things just because Ascent is such a known value now across the entire world, but you keep tabs on the ultimates, right? You keep tabs on what the ping pong has been across the sites. And you say, MTB site, we've got more tools to go for retakes. Now, obviously, if Envy had used null command to start with, it's even more value that they get out of it. But since they don't, they immediately pop their null command first a little bit early. Deny that response, so they're able to go in a bit stronger on the retake.
That's what they needed, especially with that pacing coming through. As soon as they secure a strong lead, that's great.
And this time it's an A empty as well, because that null command is still available. They're just letting this happen. They still have the lockdown for the retake on A. I mean, Lenny is reading Team Secret's habits.
Great anticipation. Null command doesn't connect onto anything, and as soon as that timer runs out, Talon's got the site surrounded. You've got the lockdown. You've got the Hunter's Fury. How does Team Secret respond to this?
If he gets this, oh no, it's so clean. He finds one more as well. Does get traded.
And even with the one-way, it just enables for Governor to find a little bit more, jumps back out, another shot through. Jeremy tries to spray transfer over, but it's pressured into shooting down this lockdown instead. Lenny goes in for the chase, and it's Governor with the short hit that gets it instead. NDG all the way from A main.
Badhiya.
Find the angles.
You know, it does seem like at times that NDG isn't quite able to get a hold of himself. You know, it looks like it's just a bit too chaotic. It's just a bit things moving too fast. A little overwhelming, perhaps. Obviously, a big debut stage for him. Coming up onto a big LAN stage against VCT teams here in Pacific. But not, we're not seeing moments that live up to the hype and expectation a lot of people had.
Not quite enough. I mean, we've seen him able to anchor, but not quite so much with the clutches, and especially with now retaking sites, the post plants.
Yes का टाइम
It's a little bit shaky.
मतलब डर लगा है उनको कुत्तों भी कि भाई अरे अवले कुत्ते हो रहा है.
If Team Secret doesn't fix things, this match could be over.
Sure. I mean, yes, again, Ascent, etc., defensive half, but the way things are looking now, it looks like they're well on their way to at least another 9-3 half, which is what they had on Breeze. Starting on that defense. The calls from Lenny are good. Good reads on to Jesse Vash and Team Secret. I mean, what a way to prove a point for Lenny. Sitting behind this 5-man roster all year last year, only getting one chance, and not exactly a fair one, when he had to play the one map against DRX.
Yeah, he's finally getting his chance. I mean, round 7 and 8 says so much. But of course, now off the timeout, what does Team Secret have in store for us?
Well, first of all, they got to quiet down Governor once again. 14-2-1. Still with the op on that jet.
Okay. Oh, Lenny. Oh, Lenny. IGL for IGL.
Yeah, and that spam, it just comes up every so often enough that you almost forget about it, right? The B main one is there every day, all day, but the one in mid, like everyone knows it can be done, but it just doesn't happen every round.
It's another read, though, because he knew there was going to be that Aldra being committed. As soon as he saw it fly up, he went in for that spray, but here comes NDG now, trying to open things up against Governor. So Star Duel is gone. Jit Boys with a bit of a trade. And we're back to a 3-on-3. Space created, and all of a sudden it's a mid to A adaptation from Team Secret. Can Cruz play against this? Ben just peeks out. Cruz holds his ground, and all that's left is going to be Envy on a 1-on-3.
He has time. He wants to make these 1v1s.
Oh,
the best option he's had.
40 seconds. Oh. Crouch spray commitment from Ben, and he's just tagged up.
I want to see that swivel from Ban, because it just looked like Jeremy was going to have the kill if Ban didn't peek out with a pre-fire. Not sure if we'll get a chance to see it, but Ban, he's been free. Another, and this time it is on the KO, right? So it's not necessarily about putting him on the jet. Last year, it was only on the jet that he looked confident. But something about the comms, the chemistry on this team, we got to remember, Governor says he was the one who suggested and fought for Ban to be brought on board to this new roster of Talon Esports. And it's paying off.
There's that bit of a duo, and it certainly works out well. Apart from that, I mean, just...
No.
No! The game plan from Team Secret instantly shut down, but Jeremy has, okay, a little bit to say, but not all too much. 3-on-4, Spike getting planted, but retakes are underway.
You know, not to say anything about necessarily the cleanliness or whether you overheat or not, but the style that Governor is playing, he is playing like a world-class duelist. He's playing as if he just simply cannot lose fights.
Yeah, actually, really mechanically
बहुत बढ़िया भाई.
Insane. I mean, there's so much that he's doing, jumping around, updrafting.
And the interesting part is,
बहुत अच्छा खेलता है डिफेंसिव में अटैक में इसको पता नहीं क्या अच्छी हो जाती है.
I mean, if they didn't, a lot of these rounds would actually end up looking like overheats. There are rounds where he is going to drop a weapon. There are rounds where maybe the updraft is a little too eager, but the trades are there that either keep him alive or even if he dies, it's a very clean win for the team. And the pacing that Talon has right now, is exactly what a player like Governor would want. If he wants to go in and take every fight, assume that he's going to win, he wants backup to be there immediately, and it is every time on the defensive side for Talon.
The follow through, the relays, and now, you know, he's up 17-3.
I mean, Team Secret would want nothing more than to make this a 4-8 half.
Changing angles as well now, down towards mid. We do have Team Secret players trying to creep up on Catwalk. Governor has a very good chance at spotting all of them.
Wow, no one was watching mid, by the way, so keep notes on that.
Okay.
Work him. No.
Getting
That's
hit
smoke down.
Lenny. And that's another thing about Lenny is Sova. Punisher always good for a couple of kills. Jeremy sees it and wants to push the pressure. Odin will put up a bit of a roadblock though as the sprays cut Envy in half. Make that a
Kills.
Lenny.
The quick swivel onto Jeremy. I thought Jeremy was going to have a timing there, jumping up amidst all that noise. But Lenny.
This is, I'm telling you, this is that Lenny that I saw from
Well,
I'm glad someone's keeping that memory because it's coming back. I mean, the Hunter's Fury, great. Part of it, Borkum kind of hoping that he wasn't spotted because of the first shot missed. But then Lenny, the fact that he's keeping the focus as well on how to hold his own angles and the timings, the possibilities while he's IGLing on this new roster of an entire new mix.
That's all they needed. And also not changing up all too much. The game plan still sounds, still good. Odin sprays through. Governor just a bit of a peek, and it takes down NDG. Here comes Jeremy, though. Bladestorm at the ready. And he's looking to get to work.
Just one more round. 3-9. Hope for the curse.
When he says enough is enough, I want that 9-3. But Governor, what?
I'm telling you, Governor doesn't think there's a single person that can stop him in the server.
He's overflowing with confidence right now, and he's supported by Ben of all things right now.
Player standing.
A bit of a bait, a bit of a trade.
He's expecting it. Oh man, Jesse Vash quick on the trigger, but they had a good read on the situation.
Switching sides.
I mean, count on Jesse Vash to bring home the few rounds that they've had. Stabilizing at 3-9. The attacking side, I mean, listen, it was the same story on Breeze. A bit lacking. And on Ascent, it's even tougher because, again, the playbook is just so textbook across the entire world that if you're bringing out this composition, everyone knows the options. It's just a matter of a chess game and the flowchart of who stays one step ahead. And today, it was not Secret, both in terms of the decisions they made, but the speed of it as well.
Yeah, Secret are definitely catching up to a lot of things. At times when they switch up the pace, they might be able to sneak away a round or two, especially when Jesse Vash is there to clutch things out. But if not for that, it definitely looks like, you know, we've got Governor fragging out, we've got Lenny reading them and staying one step ahead in that chess game, like you mentioned, Will.
Okay, the pistol round once again, ever so important. Frost speaking his mind, wants to
the
close things
contrast.
out. I know.
Warbert's, it doesn't say anything.
Well, he also just seems like he's just racking his brain as well. I think part of it is, I think even the execution of what they have been doing hasn't exactly been the cleanest, right? And then the shots as well. And listen, if the players aren't hitting the shots that they normally would, what do you say at that point? I mean, I guess if you're head coach Solo, Gen G, you actually do tell them to just pick up their guns and hit their shots. And, or if you're Alex of Paper X, right? It works for some teams, but yeah.
Morale boost, you know, is something that's needed sometimes.
I mean, that depends on, you know, player to player, personality to personality, but that is part of it. Team Secret, they need to hit their first shots a bit more often.
So the form just feels a little bit off today, but as we swap sides, maybe finding a bit more success on the defense. Then again, we don't quite know Talon's game plan as they switch things up. Governor just trying to go quick up against Jeremy. Doesn't quite work out, but here comes Ben. There is that follow-up. You always talk about it, Will, and here it is.
I thought Jeremy's backup was quick enough. I thought that was going to catch Talon off guard. But after the one kill, Ban swings on the trade, and then there's Shadow Step. Jesse Vash
Last player standing.
Oh, good shock dart and a ghost kill to follow up, but not quite enough. Half HP though.
Spike planted.
He might be spotted. He might be vulnerable, but he might be able to find some shots.
The turret's there. He's waiting, but there's no reason for them to peek.
Ooh, this is odd. I was gonna say not impossible, but yeah.
Good post
Good
play.
round, good round.
That was honestly, it's a
मजा आ
2v1.
गया
You
good round.
spotted him once. That was a round where they could have
And
suddenly
check
gone for the double swing, and they probably would have won it either way, but they still wait until one more peek. They go for another jump because the turret wasn't broken. This is how you know that it's not just the hype and momentum that they're riding off of. The comms are there for Talon, and I mean, color me impressed, because I did not expect this. At least not in the first match of kickoff. I thought they were going to look shaky. I thought we were going to see like bits and pieces that they were trying to put together. But here's the whole entire pizza.
Especially with that turret play too. Off to the next round now. We've got some guns. Not just some guns, a lot of guns. Thanks to the kills that they've gotten before. Team Secret with the Sheriffs though, you never quite want to count them out fully.
I mean, they didn't get the turret either.
Okay.
This goes from bad to worse, honestly.
Very clear hit towards B. The spike's not there though, it's not a full commit. Nobody's quite pushing out of A main, so Cruz decides to make a move, Talon decides to pull back.
And he's pushing up very aggressively with an outlaw.
Well, close range is still, it still works. No armor, one shot, one kill. And then suddenly committing into B. Oh my goodness, Team Secret did not expect this whatsoever. And then the other boom shot on top of him. We're past double digits now.
Looks very good. The thing is what we're seeing is he seems to have enough ideas in his head that he can make the split-second calls. It looks like he was actually just looking into his notes right there as well, right next to him. Trying to keep tabs or maybe reminding himself of what they want to do next, what the game plan was coming into today's match. But, I mean, that call, you dig deep. If I get the kill, just go for B. Like you said, not something Secret expected because everything was quiet. Audio was cut on B main. It's small things like that, but the speed at which they're able to do it shows the practice and the calls from the IGL of Talon.
The entire team's cohesion as well now. They're looking for that match points. Just switching things up in terms of pace. Governor wants to go ham. Going for the Phantom, going for the movement. A double kill in Vita trade. But then the rest of the team has already made their way onto site. It's a 2-on-2 and not impossible for Talon to pick up this bonus and match point.
Secret has to go for this, but Jeremy is so low. 10 HP. The shock dart, the outlaw, everything is going to have so much value.
Oh, the outlaw. Way too low, and that's going to be it. Lenny hopping up with the classic just to check, and he found what he was looking for.
I mean, I'll see what we're all thinking. This is some justice for Lenny. What in the world?
I was trying not to mention it. He's
like coming back with a vengeance from the bench.
Put me on Gecko again.
Yeah, well, not even that. Just don't put me on the stage again. See what happens.
All right, it's just kickoff. It's just the first match, but what a way to start things out.
Sure, Talon did this to us last year, but I mean, honestly, a great showing. And you know, that outlaw, I mean, some of the pros have talked about that as well, right? Close range. It's still good enough. You got the double shot.
It is. And now we've got the half armor all across Team Secret. Phantoms to everyone on Talon. Governor already so deep into the site, infiltrating and just trying to block them off as they try to push out from defender spawn. Team Secret, this retake, it just doesn't feel like it's gonna happen. Envy trying to watch the angles though. Nobody flushed out of logs. Shortly inside of B main, trying to fire off the shot to Mage Spark Guardian, but it's not quite gonna find all too much. Look at the swing from Van and Chip Boys. All that's left is gonna be just Vash, and Governor with the angle makes it a flawless 13-3 on a set.
A statement made by Talon Esports. Sure, it's a new roster, but a lot of us still don't know exactly what to expect. You take apart the individual players, sure, it looked good, but the offseason, it looked like they still needed a lot of time to gel together. And they say no, it was the exact perfect time to cook. Meanwhile, Team Secret, the warm-up still needed. And a slow start to the Filipino squad.
Perfect है मैच मस्त खेले लोग एकदम बढ़िया मैच निकाल लिया मजा आ
Akila's always
गया
mentions about Warbirds and Team
Jawed
Secret.
gameplay.
He'd love to get enough prep. When you don't have enough prep against a team like Talon,
Nice one.
who show up incredible compositions such as that Neon and Yoru, Governor going crazy like this, Lenny even, showing off the Sova now. It's something that Team Secret doesn't expect. It's something that none of us expected.
Yeah, and of course, Talon's now going to be facing the winner of that next match, DRX versus DFM. I'm excited to see how that looks, because again, Lenny, even Frost, they have some good ideas about how the tendencies work for Team Secret. Now when they're going up against another new value, how do they look? How do they come prepared?
I still like the sportsmanship, though. No bad blood, just some hugs all around. But look at how elated the Talon Esports boys are. And not just that, too. I mean, if we get into stats in a second, our desk is going to go crazy.
I mean, we thought we were surprised yesterday, but Governor has had an absolute field day on the stage. His very first time standing on the VCT Pacific stage, bringing the victory alongside his new teammates for Talon Esports.
What a day it's shaping out to be. We saw, like, new ZETA division, now new Talon Esports, too. Closing things out 2-0 in this first matchup. Still, I mean, that said, everything's not over yet. We still got one more match to go. Talon Esports, they've got more obstacles if they are to make it. But so far, so good. I mean, consistent performance from Governor, consistent from Lenny and Chip Boys now in our interview.
VCT Pacific kickoff. The second win goes to Talon. Congratulations!
लड़के कितने बजाओ
Yes, I can see the fans
इतनी
so
क्या खुशी
excited
है
for
भाई
Talon.
शीन
And
गुम
for
मीन
Governor,
इसका
you
इंस्टाग्राम
show
पे
like
शीन
crazy
गुम
shots perfectly showing
है?
up. So how do you feel about your first debut?
인स्टाग्राम पे खेले
이제 거버너 선수를 만나보겠는데요. 오늘 좀 에임이 정말 미쳤습니다. 오늘 이 활약에 대해서 데뷔에 대해서 어떻게 생각하는지 물어보겠습니다.
I was definitely like nervous because it's my like in the beginning a little bit for the first like 2 rounds maybe, but that same thing with last year. My first like 2 rounds in my first match, I was definitely nervous, but once you're in the server, it's like it just feels natural and it got comfortable as I went on.
Yeah, you get used to it, right?
Yeah.
네, 처음 2 라운드에서는 좀 긴장했습니다.
भाई इसका तो नहीं मिल रहा
챌린지에서
है
같은
इसका
경우도 2 라운드까지는 조금 긴장했지만 갈수록 적응을 했고 그게 승리로 이끌었던 것 같습니다.
No, it was just a bad leg, dudes.
revenge to
Let
TS
us
was stronger than expected. So what do you think affected today's massive win? 또 오늘 이제 탈론이 반격에 나서면서 예상보다 더 큰 활약을 보여줬는데 이 승리에 대해서 어떤 게 가장 큰 요소가 있었을까요?
Obviously, there's like some history between Lenny and Secret. I think for this match, like we knew how much it meant to Lenny, especially me. But the match, I really wanted to win this one more than anything, just for my teammate. I know how much it meant to him, so I'm really happy I was able to have such a performance. But,
Yeah, you really did.
Yeah.
But anything
बराबर है लड़का एकदम परफेक्ट बोल रहा है भाई इससे ज़्यादा बेटर कुछ बोल सकता है
네, 일단 조금
Perfect
의문으로
보여줘요.
남기도
perfect.
하지만 제가 이번 경기에서 활약을 했고 그리고 더 크게 기여한 것에 대해서 기쁨을 느낀다고 전했는데요. 또 다음 질문으로 이어가 보면은 이제 새로운 코치와 함께 경기를 진행하게 됐는데 이 코치와 팀과의 케미는 어떤지 또 물어보겠습니다. Also, we have the new coach Frost in Talon. So, what do you think? How was the chemistry with the team? How did it work with the coach?
So I've actually worked with Frost in the past.
Oh, you did?
Yeah, I was on a free agent team for about 6 months with him. When I first, worked with him, he was a lot stricter than I'm used to. Like think of it like a football coach. Very, strict. Basically, the first person to probably, call me stupid a lot and like. But I have a history with him. But overall, when he brought me to Talon.
बराबर है भाई बराबर है एकदम लड़का एकदम गलत बोल ही नहीं सकता कहाँ गलत बोल रहा है लड़का कुछ गलत नहीं बोल रहा है भाई
At first I definitely didn't know how to feel about it, but even now we argue a lot, but it's healthy, it's a healthy amount of arguing and we work well together.
야. 또 이제 코치님이 되게 엄격하시다고 말했는데 작년에도 이제 코치님과 함께 했지만 이번에는 조금 더 코치님과 더 투닥투닥 거리면서 좀 더 케미 좋은 팀으로 만들어나갔다고 이야기를 했습니다. 또 이월 지나칠 수 없죠. 팬분들께 선물로 드릴 인형인데요. 여기에서 직접 승리의 데뷔 사인과 함께 팬분들께 던져보겠습니다. So can you give your sign in the stall? We're gonna throw to the fans. Your sign here? This marker?
Okay.
Congratulations! You can sign it on the forehead or the back.
भाई कितना बड़ा कैशबैक 32 रुपए कैशबैक दिया मैं गूगल पे
네, 지금 사인을 하고 계신데요.
가신다오.
행운의 인형을 갖고 싶으신 팬분들은 손을 번쩍 들고 계시면 그쪽으로 갈 확률이 좀 높겠죠? 그리고 제가 또 네, 오늘도 뒤쪽이 조금 더 적극적인 것 같아요. Yeah, the fans are really wanting the doll.
बस चिल्लाने लग जाओ नहीं.
To the back or to the front. And you're gonna feel you're lucky. Good job. Okay. Thank you so much for the interview. I hope to see you again.
Thank you so much.
Okay, good night. Meet you. Tata.
Wow, there are a lot of fans there trying to catch that tactic bunny from Governor, who was incredible. There's so much history between these two teams, but it's surprising actually how Team Secret performed here. You know, they have so much history.
They have performed really well. I like their gameplay, their game sense. They are playing good as always.
Surprising is one.
God,
yes. I could think of several other ones, but I won't utter them on the broadcast right now. This was absolutely disappointing and not at all what we expected from Team Secret. We expected them to come out again, like I said, they have a decent jumping off point given that they have such a solid foundation still on this squad with just one new player joining in. But talent, good lord, what a performance from them the whole way throughout. Utterly dominant here on Ascent. And this is where we said, okay, you know what, Secret, they started warming up a little bit on the back end of Breeze. Now they found their footing. We saw that pistol round coming out from Envy on Breeze as well. So it's like, okay, now they're a little bit more warmed up. They're a little bit more in the zone.
Not at
all. Talon, we're just completely unflappable on this one.
And you know how important that pistol round was, because it felt like after that, because they lost it, it felt like Jeremy just couldn't find his groove. There was a point where he had the blades coming into short. He spotted two targets and couldn't decide which one to actually, just actually focus on.
We have to just point straight to the stats. Governor drops a 399 on Ascent. Wow. Nearly cresting 400 and has 7 first kills. He only gave up 1 first death that entire map. It's just utterly dominant the whole way throughout. Lenny as well, stepping into this IGL role, also putting up fantastic figures. He comes away with 100% kill participation on that Sova. He was contributing to absolutely everything that was being done in the lobby. This is a renaissance for a lot of these players. Ban, somebody who was subject to a lot of scrutiny last year. We did see improvements from him on his jet, particularly on Fracture, but so far seeing him on the Euros, seeing him on KO, the system that he's in right now, it seems like they're really utilizing him.
Yeah, so where does that put us now? We got T1 and Zeta facing up, and Talon is going to be facing up the winner of the next match, which is DRX and DFM. Now, I know, like Talon, a lot of us had a lot of question marks about DFM, but
okay guys, so I have to go, so which means I will be closing the stream soon.
We have
I will be doing a Patreon stream tonight, so join for that. Look like a like, make it a like karo. If you have not liked this stream yet, do it now, and if you have not subscribed, then do it now.
For sure, with this newer roster coming through, Crazy Raccoon crossover, Anthem there as well still. But the odds are stacked against them, but I think no matter which team comes out on top of this one, whoever it is, them versus Talon.